Guys, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome in to Party Boats and Thieves, episode 2. Today we are joined by the one and only BBXH, aka D, aka one of the founding members of Morning Party Biggity Boats. Big, huge.
Biggity massive. Yeah.
Guys, welcome. Let's get this rolling, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Hey!
What's up?
Must be a good luck, man. As soon as you joined in, we got a Meg.
We got a Meg?
Yeah, I just killed one.
So are you are on the roam right now for sharks?
Sharks and fish, and I had to finish up that grog thing, I guess. Did yours check off? Because I had 8 out of 10. Like, they kill skellies with a grog ball.
I think it worked. I'm pretty sure it worked. That day that we did it?
It put me at 8 out of 10 for some reason. So I had to go find a grog ball and kill 2 more.
Well, so that means the only summer Sea of Thieves events you have left are the arena ones, right?
Yep.
And now we're working on shark teeth.
Yep.
You got a bunch of shark meat already, right? Look at you.
Bit, yeah.
You already got a boat. It's all stacked with loot, and we're level, 5? I had a boat loaded for us with mats and everything, and then you were like, yo, I got a boat. It's like loaded up with loot and all the good stuff. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Yo, welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is Party Boats and Thieves number 2 with BBXH. D, thank you for joining for the 2nd episode.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
I'm sorry we had that little technical snafu where I completely shut off your webcam. That was amazing.
That's all right. It's the streamer life.
I literally double-clicked the window over here in my, in the apps that I have that are making this work, and it like shut a double click. It was a double click, and it shut everything off.
Of course. How it goes.
But thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this brand new podcast experience that we're just now kicking off. We last week ran episode 1 with Burger. Today, this week we are running episode 2 with you. So thank you so much. It's only fitting, being at Morning Party Boats and everything, that we get it rolling and we introduce this podcast the right way with a full Morning Party Boat crew. So thank you so much for joining. And guys, everyone that's tuning in, thank you guys for coming to hang out. This is a brand new podcast experience called Party Boats and Thieves that we're broadcasting live. We record it live on Twitch. But the full intention is for everybody to be able to listen to this or watch this on their own time on YouTube or other places that podcasts are downloaded. So guys, thank you for being here live. If you happen to miss some, you can catch it whenever, wherever, if you guys listen or watch YouTube, other platforms in which podcasts are downloaded. So guys, thank you so much for being here. And D, again, thank you for being a part of this.
Happy to.
So catch me up to speed. What is going on this boat right now? So that way we know what's up.
So obviously we're Order of Souls level 5. We have a bunch of skulls to sell. We also have a little bit of fish and some shark meat to sell. And other than that, I'm just sailing around. So I've got nothing on the agenda at the moment other than selling.
So let's write the agenda. Let's get a bunch of shark teeth, and let's also see how many rare fish for D that we can catch.
Yes, please.
Does that sound good?
That sounds amazing.
Amazing. Awesome. So fish and shark teeth. Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I was just like, I don't think there's any other way that we can do this with D other than go out and get all the rare fish. So
I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but I am.
It's honestly, it's like Pokemon cards. Yeah. I don't know. It's like they're rare, like, and every single time you get one, yeah, you're like super stoked about getting whatever rare thing it is.
I agree.
All right, guys. So before we get started, real quick, I want to give a huge, massive shout out to my coffee company, the coffee company that makes this possible. Guys, Party Boats and Thieves today and every other episode is a podcast experience brought to you and fueled by Madrinas Coffee. Madrinas brings you the absolute best tasting cold brew worldwide, making it available in both 16-ounce cans and our brand new 8 serving powder tubs. Guys, Madrinas Cold Brew Powder just launched this summer and lets you ship our amazing cold brews anywhere around the world at a much, much, much lower shipping cost. So if you guys are ready to fuel up with your favorite Madrinas cold brew, or if you've never had Madrinas and you want to join the hype, head on over to madrinascoffee.com and check out all of our cold brew options. And as of today, be sure to use discount code BBXH for 20% off your entire order at checkout. If you guys do use code BBXH, you will also get a fancy alert on D's stream if you remember to plug in your Twitch name at the checkout. We got that alert up and running, I think, right, D?
Yep.
We got that alert up.
Should be.
Perfect. So if you guys,
first, it'll be a tester.
Yep. Whoever goes and uses discount code BBXH, guys, you'll get 20% off. It should send the alert to D stream. So much like any other alert for subs, donos, whatever, a Madrinas Coffee purchase, a purchase of anything on our web store using discount code BBXH will trigger its own fancy Madrinas alert on D stream. So be sure you plug your name in at checkout. And all right, boom. You ready to sail for a couple hours? And I've been billing this, getting to know D, getting to know the full story of not only BBXH and the content you put out, but you and like everything that you do in this awesome world.
I'm trying the cafe vanilla for the first time today, by the way.
You doing the vanilla?
Yep.
Let me get a mocha. I'm gonna balance the universe out. Oh, you're doing the shaker.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna balance the universe out. Dat Guy has a special. He calls it the Dat Guy special. It's two-thirds mocha and 1/3 vanilla in the shaker.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds awesome.
If you want to get like all like fancy with it.
Fancy?
Yeah. You want to get way fancy. All right, is yours all shaken up?
Yep. Ready to go.
All right, let's do it. Guys, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 today with D. Again, guys, if you are just now joining, this is Party Boats and Thieves episode 2. If you guys can't catch all of today's episode, you guys will be able to watch this later on YouTube or catch this on other platforms in which podcasts are downloaded. Follow Madrinas on all socials if you guys want to follow along on how you can watch this or listen to this at a later time. And D, are you ready to cheers?
I am.
You ready to cheers? Awesome. Guys, everyone, thank you for being here. Greeting the sun, attacking this day and this episode number 2 with a positive heart, mind, and spirit. Cheers. I'm cheersing my mocha. You're cheersing your vanilla. It's like the end scene in Star Wars. It's Star Wars 9 where the force balances itself out. Mocha and vanilla. Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers, baby. Yeah.
And Mo just bought with the code and the alert works. That was my little screech.
Mo,
big shout out.
Big shout out to Mo. Yo, Mo fueling up with discount code BBXH and the alert is popping off on D stream. You guys just saw how that worked. So cheers, cool. Everybody. Thank you guys for being here. And we're going to be hanging out. We're going to be sailing, fishing. Thank you guys for being here. It's a different kind of day when we do this live. I spend most of the time just wanting to chat with D or chat with whoever joins us. So thank you guys again for being here, and thank you guys for cheersing this day and this episode. All right, D, how's the ship? Is it matted up?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of materials, and we have some stuff to sell at the seapost here.
I mean, I swear you're already on this thing. I was so proud of myself. I had a boat. I was ready. I felt ready to go. All right. You ready to just get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in with a super, super, super controversial question. Okay.
Okay.
We're just gonna start off with so 2020, crazy year, a lot going on, so much. It feels like the world has been flipped upside down, and
completely.
Who knows? Like socially, politically, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna ask the most controversial question I can in light of it all.
Okay.
Do you eat pineapple on your pizza?
I do. And in fact, I'm going to take it to another level because that is actually my favorite type of pizza.
Pineapple?
So not only do I eat it, but that is my number one choice. I love it.
Yeah, you see, I try to convert people all the time, so never mind.
Okay,
I was fully prepared to give you the full spiel and the full case on
I'm in for it.
All right, cool. All right, now that we got that out of the way.
I love it.
Now that we got that out of the way, Yo, we have been, you and I have been sailing together for months now, right?
Yeah.
It's been like since basically like the beginning of this year, kind of, and it's been so dope to get to hang with you.
Same.
But honestly, like the more that I talk to like you or Josh or anybody, I realize like, man, like, you know, I haven't had a chance to hang out with you guys in person. So getting to know you like on a more like, you know, like friend type level, just like knowing like everything about your background I haven't had the real opportunity to. And we were just talking about this last night. Like TwitchCon is normally like a great like avenue for that, but there is none this year. At least not that I know of. I think I'm pretty sure like it's completely done. So
Yeah, it's canceled.
so how about this? Let fill me and everybody in on you and how you came to be to this point of content creation. But like where did you start? Where did you grow up? How did you end up into this content creation world?
Okay, so I started. So as a teenager, I'm gonna start from the beginning. So
Let's do it.
As a teenager, I went to a school called Barbizon. I think maybe some people know it, some people don't. It's been around a long time, but basically it's a school. Sometimes it's guys and girls, sometimes it's just girls. But they'll teach you modeling, acting, how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, how to walk in heels, like
Really?
public speaking. Oh yeah, self-confidence. So I did that, and I actually did modeling competitions and did some modeling work. I've always lived in the DC area, born and raised here. So I did that for a long time in my teens, and then I started working at the school when I was in college, and I taught there for many years, and then I ended up becoming, they call it like the director of education. And so basically it's a small staff, 1 weekend a month for a set of students. And so I would basically be running the weekends, and I would have teachers that, you know, they would teach the class while I was handling like the paperwork side and that side of it. And so I worked there for about 10 years. So I have that
10 years?
background. Yep. Crazy, right?
When did you start? When did you start going there? Like early on?
I started there when I went there as a student. At the end of high school. I think I was a junior or maybe even a senior in high school when I went there.
So it's like a college-like experience?
No, I mean, because all the girls are 8 to 18. So
okay.
like it's like a, man, I don't know how to describe. Like the girls come 1 weekend a month for 6 months. So they'll come for 4 hours on a Saturday, 4 hours on a Sunday, and then do whatever the curriculum is for that day. And it's just kind of neat. And you learn some things that you may not usually learn. Yeah, kind of like a finishing school. Another name for it, but
okay, so it's basically like a finishing school. You were a student for like a year or two, and you worked there for 10 years.
Yes. So yeah, I was a student. Yeah, you do a 6-month program, and then there's like a modeling competition called IMTA up in New York City. So I went and competed in that and did acting, realized I absolutely hate acting and I'm horrible at acting, but I love the like performance and the stage side of just like being myself, I guess is a way to describe it, like doing hosting or like MC kind of stuff where you're yourself, but you're still like in that entertainment side.
Did you get any acting gigs and then like you went there and you realized you just like it felt awkward and it just wasn't for you?
I've figured that out in auditions. Like I would go to auditions for acting, like, and I'm just like, I would be so nervous and just felt like there was something in me. I couldn't connect with the characters, the lines, and I just realized, okay, that's not for me.
What did you audition for?
There's investigation discovery. You know, they do like the
It's like a talent scouting type of company.
No, it's a show. They do like a lot of the.
Oh, it's a show.
Yes, they'll do. Is
that Josh?
Yeah. He said this sounds like something for porn. It's totally not. It's like it's a show about, they'll do like maybe a serial killer story, and they'll have like actors with the dramatizations telling the story. It's one of those kind of shows, or like a I Survived kind of thing. So they do a lot of the filming for that and casting for that is up in investigation. Yeah, the ID. It's a network. Okay, so it's a network, Jeff said. But anyways, it's up in Maryland. So there's casting calls for it all the time. So I went on some auditions for that and was like, oh my God, like just quickly realized like I am not a fan of this. I'm not into it.
So did you try to like psych yourself up for the weeks ahead? Were you like memorizing lines and like getting yourself in care? Like were you like practicing with Josh?
No, this is way pre-Josh.
Oh, we're talking
So
pre-Josh still. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is like, and I never got like the audition is you're trying to get the role, so, and usually for the auditions that I did not do many, but for these, it was a cold read, which means that you show up and they hand you the script and then you study the script for however long, and then you read from the script to perform the lines. So in doing that, I realized I suck at this so bad.
Okay, so and they hooked. So your finishing school. I mean,
Yeah.
you can call it that, right? Finishing school.
Yeah.
Just basically, like they try to sync you up with these talent type of opportunities.
Yes, and then I also worked with a modeling agency that was located up near Baltimore. I can't even think what the name of it is now. They're not around anymore, but I did some modeling jobs with them. And just I ended up working as well, like on the backstage side, like for Nova Fashion Week, working backstage with them. And I just love that entire world, like the whole thing of like fashion shows and like I think TV is my number one. Like that's probably my all-time goal would be to have a TV show that I host on the regular, or like a news anchor or something like that. Like I love that. And I've gotten to do that a lot with esports. I've been super blessed, but it's, few and far between because I live in DC. I don't live in LA.
So in a sense, this sort of finishing school, wait, hold on. What did you call it again? It was started with an S?
Barbizon.
Oh, no, started with Barbizon.
That's the name of it.
Barbizon. Okay, so in a sense, Barbizon kind of introduced you to the idea of, being on screen or pursuing a talent type of career.
And I think I started it because I wanted to learn. I've always been super interested in like the girly side of stuff, like hair and makeup and dressing up. And my mom is so not that way, which is funny. Like she's just like, she's not into like hair and makeup and stuff. She looks beautiful. She doesn't need it or anything. But, I mean, I knew that I liked that stuff. And so I think I kind of went there to learn that. And then it, rolled into working there for so long and more than I could have ever expected.
Was it your parents that got you into that idea to Barbizon, or did you bring this idea to them?
This was fully me bringing it to them. Like you would read like, oh, there's a ship over there. But there's, you would read magazines back then and there was always advertisements in the back of the magazine. So I'd see these Barbizon, like their slogan was like, learn how to be a model or just look like one. And I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. As a teenage girl, you're like, oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what did your mom say when you said, hey, I want to do this Barbizon? Did she say like, get the hell out of here, you're not doing that?
No, my parents are like the most supportive people. And she's like, okay, if you want to try it, and took me to the audition for it. And I tried out and got in, and that's, all. And so
from there you learned that, okay, acting's not your gig, but you obviously loved that, like the idea of being in this, like, in this more talent focused world. Yeah. And now you're here, obviously you're streaming. You're the big mega Sea of Thieves star now. So, it's obviously you've pursued your interest well enough, but like, so what was between acting, trying to act and saying, no, this is not for me. And then you finding Twitch and saying, all right, I'm going to go live every day and I'm going to be live on the internet for people.
Okay. So basically, so I also while I worked at Barbizon, I went to college. So I actually have my bachelor's of arts in economics, which is completely random. But
it's an econ degree.
Yep. I have an econ degree. And I started working I live in the DC area. So a lot of people that are around here, they either work for the government or government contractor. And so that's what I started doing after college. I started working at a company. It was a government contractor that built helicopter simulators for the military and the government. And so I started as their purchasing agent. And so purchased all these aircraft parts.
And this is early 20s. This is your early 20s.
Yeah. This is my first quote unquote big girl job out of college. And I honestly started there as more like an admin job and then rolled into and worked my way up to the purchasing side and then got involved in government contracts as well and started learning about that. And so on the gaming side of things, though, like I've always been a gamer since I was a little kid. I have an older brother that loves video games. He and I grew up playing Sega and PlayStation and computer games. So I've always been a gamer my entire life. And then,
so you have this purchasing gig job, and you're in your early 20s. You're probably making some good money at the time, just because you got your degree, you got this good job, and so. But did you feel compelled that you were like, I'm starting to get bored with this, or?
Not so much. I honestly loved that job. I loved the people that I worked with, and it was super fulfilling. It was such a laid back, I don't know, environment, and everybody was chill. I loved it. But then it was honestly Josh and I got together, and then he said he was watching people on Twitch to get better at Clash Royale, which if anybody doesn't know, it's a mobile game. And
that was that was your first big game.
Yeah.
Is Clash Royale.
So he and I were playing Clash Royale, and I didn't know anything about Twitch, and he was watching, and he felt like, oh my gosh, like I feel like she could do this, because his background is in IT. So he bought everything. He bought the mic, the cam, and he set everything up for the stream. He was like, all you have to do is sit down and like do the cam side of it. And so we just one day decided to try it and go live, and I played Clash Royale. And
had you been telling Josh at that time that you had been wanting to get in, because you had this Barbizon background, but you got this government job now, which isn't in the world of content creation, and so had you been telling Josh like, man, I really want to get involved, like because you're doing fitness shows now too, so I mean you're pursuing multiple different levels of on the talent side. So it's like, had you been telling Josh like, man, I really need something to get into, like I don't feel like I'm like being creatively challenged? He just sort of like pushed you on, or like brought this idea to you?
Yes, I was still working at Barbizon at this time, so I still had that fulfillment of that kind of entertainment side of it, working there. And I mean, but like I ended up with the Barbizon job, it was something I would travel for sometimes, because they would send me to other schools or to help start new schools. So I was super involved with that. But that was only like on the weekends. It's a solely weekend job. And I honestly did have the opportunity to work for them full time. And I almost did. I almost worked for them full time and moved down to Tampa, Florida. But I think a big part of it that I was turned off with, like the pay wasn't quite what I was wanting, and it would have been a lot of dealing with like collections of calling the parents of that owed money, and I just did not want to do that. So I think that's a big reason why I didn't go work. Otherwise, I think I would have been. I'd probably still be in Florida.
So you had
for them.
So you had like your first job that you were working, purchasing agent, and you had the Barbizon thing. Were you just like, was it how many hours were you burning a week? Was that like a 70-hour a week type of deal? You were just always jamming?
I don't know if I ever got that high, but definitely, like, I mean, my job is a normal 40-hour, rarely ever doing. I think I did overtime one time because we had some heavy contract that we were working on. But otherwise, it was a 40-hour week job, and it was a great job, the full-time one. Because as soon as I walked out that door, like, I left it behind. They never expected me to do, like, answering calls or emails outside of work time, which was amazing. And then the Barbizon thing was 1 weekend a month, or 1 to 3 weekends a month, depending on how many groups I had at one time. And so, but that was probably, I mean, those are probably like 10-hour days, so maybe 60-hour days in there sometimes. And then, of course, with the streaming, like once Josh said, hey, why don't we try this? And I would come home and stream in the evenings after work. So I really, really grinded those first like few years of streaming, because I was working my full-time job, streaming in the evenings, and then either streaming on the weekend or doing Barbizon on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, did you at first did you look at Josh and be like, "Get the hell out of here! You want me to work more?" I mean, did you look at him and say like, "You're like, you know how many hours that would be?"
But I think we more so viewed it as like a hobby than like anything like a job, and
you just had fun with it.
Yeah, just something to do for fun. And then what kind of drove me more was getting involved in esports with Clash Royale. So they made it so you could host in-game tournaments. And there used to be these tournaments that it basically cost like, I don't know, like maybe $1,500, like real money, to actually host this in-game tournament. So it was extremely expensive. So it didn't happen very often. Maybe it wasn't that much, but it was definitely close to like $1,000. that you'd have to put in a mobile app game to do a tournament. So when these happened, it was insane. And like people would like flock to your channel. Like I'd have like out of nowhere 4,000 people in my channel because they just wanted to get in this tournament, and it only held 1,000 players. So people are trying to get this password, and it would fill up instantly. It was insane. If anyone remembers this, it was a crazy time.
And you had the ability to do this because you were creating content for them.
No, I got paired up with people people would come in my chat and say, "Hey, I want to do one of these tournaments for the community. Will you host it on your channel or be kind of like the middle person to get the people in it?" And I'm like, okay. So, I mean, the benefit in it for me is like more discoverability and like of people in this game. So it was wild. And then they eventually started doing like Supercell, the game company, started doing esports with it. And there weren't many other ladies streaming it. And so I think we just kind of, somebody else not related to Supercell from Mo Esports, Ted from Mo Esports, gave me the opportunity to cast an event up in Canada. And I'm so grateful to him because that was my first ever esports gig. And he invited me and another caster, his name's Woody, to cast it. So that was my first ever casting job with him. And then I ended up doing another one up in Canada, Northern Arena. And then from there, I think Supercell saw, okay, this girl can cast for us if we do esports. So they had reached out to me, and then I started doing the Supercell esports events, live events, and got to travel to. I pretty much lived in LA for like 2 months, doing these CCGS tournaments. They would do a live show every week, and the esports players would compete, until the very end, and then they did a live finals for it in London that I got to host, and that was probably like my top moment in my like esports career. But because of that, I think that really, really helped me kind of dive into this more. And that was definitely the push of when I left my full-time job to do streaming full-time, because I realized I need to travel. I don't have the paid time off to do this, and obviously I can't just be leaving my full-time job all the time. So that's what pushed me to stream full-time and kind of make that leap.
And you've been in DC the whole time.
Yeah.
So did you ever, and you said you lived in LA for 2 months. Did you ever, have you and Josh talked about, man, I think we just need to, because you're getting in not only into just being live, but obviously all the casting opportunities. Have you guys been like, let's just move to LA?
No. He has a very, very like solid government job like most people here. And I just feel like it would be a really big mistake to leave it. So as much as I would, and all of my family is here as well. And his family is East Coast now as well. So I think it would be really hard for us to do that. So my ideal would be, I've definitely missed out on a lot of good gigs because I don't live in LA. And so that's a bummer part of it, but I think not enough for me to want to live there. I would like to do something more permanent, but here.
So you're doing you're obviously, you're live so many hours a week, but you also got you got your whole fitness show side that you get into.
Yeah.
And so at the point of time, so what year is it when you start going live with Clash Royale?
Ooh, this is March 2016.
March of 2016. Do you get into are you as into your shows with your fitness interest, or does that come later?
No, that comes late. That was last year. Something I've always wanted to do though. I used to work at a gym, and I worked with a girl who she wasn't so I do in bodybuilding. There's different divisions that you can compete in, and each division is kind of focused on what muscles, or I guess they're more muscle focused. So I do the bikini division, which is a lot of delts, your shoulders, hamstrings, and glutes. And then she did women's physique, which is a little bit more like those are the women I think you more picture that are they have a little bit more muscle.
Sure.
And like, they've got bigger quads and, bigger arms, bigger lats, back muscles. So she did that. But I always just thought it was the coolest thing. And so, but it was always just never the right time for me. And then last spring, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to make now the right time and I'm going to do it. And I started preparing for it May last year.
And so you had talked about gaming being a part of your life for so long, like since you were a kid. Have you always been as interested, in the health and fitness side of the world? I mean, because like there's some people that, that will just go to the gym, a couple times a week or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, you make it a huge like lifestyle decision for you. I mean, you're meal prepping, you're planning for shows. I mean, it's a critical part of your life. So
yeah, I think I've always been interested in fitness, and like I played soccer all like through elementary school, middle school. The only reason, this guy's back.
I kind of want to see what he's up. I kind of want to see what he
has no voyage. He has no loot.
I kind of want to see what he's up to, like how he reacts to us being here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was just chilling here right next to our sea post, being kind of he was being kind of creepy about it. Here, we'll give him a fish.
Okay.
Is he on the island?
He's he's at the map table.
Oh, he's at the map table right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so both gaming and the fitness have been a part of your life for a long time.
Yeah.
What games were you playing, like even when you were just growing up? Because I mean, you had mentioned you were playing Sega, I think, but before we go even further into your content creation world, I just want to double back for a second. What games were you playing growing up?
Okay, so obviously Sega with the Sonic the Hedgehog, and there was a bunch of different random games I would play, and then we ended up eventually getting a Mac, and I played like Amazon Trail. Not Oregon Trail, Amazon Trail. It was the best. You would take pictures of these different animals in the jungle. So I played that, and I eventually, like, a big part of my gaming, I played a lot of Diablo, a lot of Diablo 2, a lot of EverQuest. Those were, I think, my top games, and I loved them so much. I would play The Sims, and I think those are my top ones right there.
And so
mainly Diablo 2 and EverQuest.
So you're sitting down. Josh says, "Hey, I think you can do this Clash Royale thing." And you got a little bit of a gaming background. And you sit down and you go to make your account. How do you land on BBXH? You're making your account and you got to come up with a name. Yeah. Had this always been your name just online?
No, that's actually a great question. Josh used to run a very successful Minecraft server called XH Craft. And he was this is way before he and I were ever together. And he was very into it. I swear to you, like to this day, people still reach out to him like years and years later and saying like that it made such an impact on their life. Like they were going through hard times and it was a good community for them, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So XH Craft was his thing. So he has had the name Someone XH for a long time. And so when I was starting out streaming, I was like, I don't know about this world. I don't know what to expect. And also being somebody who worked as a government contractor, I was like, I need to fully separate myself from these two. So I was like, I need to come up with some name that has zero ties to me before today, so to speak, just in case. I didn't know what to expect. It was a new world for me. And so I just made it like I used to call people BB all the time. Like, hey, BB, you know? So I was like, I'll just be BBXH. And that was it.
So this guy really didn't want that fish.
Oh, all right.
At all,
sir.
But he ended up taking it. I was handing it to him, and he immediately he said no, and then he started shaking his head no. But he ultimately took our fish, so we can say bye to him.
Bye. He's probably like, what in the world?
Okay, so you start with Clash Royale. How long are you grinding Clash Royale, and how many hours do you start? Like when you first start, obviously you hit go live for the first time. There's no one. There's no audience yet. There's no one watching. Yeah. And how long do you grind before you really start feeling it pick up? Because you said you got to a point where you're like, hey, I think I can do this full time. But what was the point? What was that time in life like? You're going live every day. You're starting to grow your audience, but it's still early on, and you're playing Clash Royale. Do you ever look at Josh or at that time and you say, man, I don't know if this can happen, or do you start seeing growth pretty quickly?
I think I saw his growth pretty quickly because I was unique, because like I mentioned, there were not a lot of other females. There were like two come to my mind that were doing Clash Royale at the time, and it was a brand new game. So it really had that momentum because people already knew Supercell games, Right. Most people, even that aren't involved in gaming, know the name Clash of Clans. And I played Boom Beach before. That's because Boom Beach, these are all Supercell games. So I had started Clash Royale, and again, there weren't many other females that were streaming it, and so I think because of that, I really stood out, and I gained a lot of momentum in the beginning of my streaming career because of that. And back in the day, 4 years ago, there was no such thing as affiliate. So you were either a streamer or you were a partnered streamer. And I think and I applied to be a partner so many times and I got denied. Ooh, there's barrels. I'm gonna jump. And I got denied, you know, a few times, and it would say like, oh, you've gotten denied, like you can reapply again in 3 months. But if you know Josh, he's a very persistent person, and so he was like, let's just apply again. And I'm over here like, no, we have to follow the rules, I can't apply again. And I would just but he was like, let's just do it, let's try, we have nothing to lose. So I was like, okay. And I would apply again, and I ended up actually getting partnered pretty early. And the only thing I can think of is the fact that like it was just right place, right time, and I was doing something unique. It was a mobile game, and I think they were trying to make mobile games more of a thing on Twitch at the time. So I think I just got really, really lucky hitting it and getting partnered pretty early in my streaming career.
Man, what a guy. Josh is just like a life coach over there.
He really is.
He's just daily inspiration.
Person, yes, to have for like, I can't remember if we were on stream or off stream talking about this, but like for like the fitness stuff, it's really hard to do, and it can be really mentally challenging to like keep yourself, because the diet part is just so mentally hard sometimes, like when you're like, oh, I just want to eat like this or that. And so he's really good about like keeping me on track, you know. So I appreciate him for that, because not a lot of people are like that. And
it sounds like he was taking like ownership of the whole, you know, idea of you building something on Twitch. That's awesome. That's awesome that you've had him like there to support, especially because it sounds like, you know, I mean, was there anything before like Josh kind of was, you know, getting into the Twitch world? Were you watching a lot of like, was it something that was even on your radar?
No, I didn't even know what Twitch was at all. But he's known. I mean, you can look at his account. His account's so old, back when it was like Justin TV. So he's known Twitch for a long time. But he watched it, I think, on and off. He would see like fails on Reddit and stuff like that and watch. But he really, really started watching when he wanted to improve on his gameplay for Clash Royale. And then I started doing the same with him and watching people to try to get better.
So from basically 2016 to 2018, or when do you get partnered? You talked about, you know, applying a bunch, getting denied a bunch, which is like a similar story to a lot. You know, you're growing on Twitch, so you naturally start. There's like an incline to it, and part of that incline is going through the rejection process, just because you're growing. But at what point do you get? Are you like, yeah, okay, we're partnered, and now I mean, because you talked about these days where you get like, you know, huge waves of people that come and want to be a part of these Clash Royale tournaments, and obviously the support that follows is probably awesome. At what point between 16 and 18? Because 18 is when Sea of Thieves comes out, and then you start migrating over into this world. But at what point are you like, all right, I'm going full time, and when do you leave your other job?
So I got partnered honestly pretty quickly. It was in the first few months of my streaming. And like I said, the only thing I could think is that I just happened to hit like a sweet spot where they were looking for specific content creators in that specific game. And I happened to hit it after getting denied a few times. And they really were starting to like pull in all these other mobile games on Twitch. And they had like a presence at the Twitch cons past year, like Arena of Valor. And what was the other? There's another mobile one that's similar before that. Oh, I can't think of it. Doesn't matter. But so it was a few months after that I got partnered, and then it was probably about like 9 months to a year before I quit my full-time job and then started streaming full-time and got more and more involved in like the esports side as well, which should definitely help me make that push to full-time, because you know, you want to be stable financially and like everything before you go full-time. And so that helped me significantly in going full-time. So it was me doing work beyond just, you know, going live on Twitch.
What was something? So the first day that you went live, it was probably, you know, not you were probably lucky to have a couple people kind of pop in or whatever and say hi. Well, what was that first day like, and at what point did you realize in that growth curve did you realize, oh, okay, this is something I definitely want to do? Because you probably were just dabbling at first, but didn't know that you loved it. So at what point? Because like that first day, whatever that was like. And then when you knew that in your mind this is something that you wanted to pursue, what, like mentally, what talk about like that whole growth curve?
So I think the first day going into it, the beauty of it was like I really had no expectations going into it. I hadn't watched Twitch before, so I wasn't going in with this mindset of like, oh, I need to get viewers and I need to have people talking in my chat. I need to get this many followers. I had zero expectations. I wasn't paying attention to any of that. Like I didn't. So I was just like playing and chatting and having fun, you know? And so I think that helped. Looking back, I think that helped me a ton, because I think that can really weigh on us mentally, focusing on those numbers in the start. So the fact that I didn't know is I was just having fun and having a good time. And I think once I realized that the pros or the benefits of being a streamer full time, that's when I think I realized, okay, this is good for me. Because like we talked about, like it was. And I could leave that Barbizon job. As much as I loved working there, I did get to a point where I was, you know, when you get to be a veteran in it, they start to push more and more work on you. And if it starts, it's at least for me, like I think it started to feel a little unfair to me of the workload. And so I liked the option of like trying to, you know, close that door and move on to something else. And it was something I could do from home, so I could make my own schedule. I could be flexible. I didn't have to, I mean, before my house now, at one point I lived like a mile away from the office. So it was pretty sweet. So I didn't really have a commute in my old apartment, but you know, but then I eventually did move further and I had like a 30-minute commute every day. So, you know, I got so much more time back in my life by streaming full time and fulfilling that want to be like in the entertainment side of it and doing a career.
Was there anything, is there any sort of key learning you picked up on the past few years that you wish you could go back to your, like the version of yourself that was just starting this, and you could tell that person like what's up, give them that little bit of advice?
Gosh, yeah, there's so many things, and I think a lot of it is like, you know, you try when you're starting out, you're trying so many different things to figure out how to grow, right? And I definitely made some mistakes of like how to grow. Like here's a very good example of like with social media. I'm trying to grow my social media. And one of the things that I did was be like, hey, if you guys follow my Instagram, I'll follow you back. And
follow for follow.
Follow for follow, just to be like nice to people. And I can't tell you, like still to this day, 4 years later, I am still sifting through accounts that are just like dead accounts that have 0 posts, 0 followers. And it's just like, I don't know what you call it, but accounts like that, they're so like not real. It's not like somebody followed me from it and I followed them back. But like, you know, it's just like they're trying to build their own base, and so they see somebody does that, and they're like, "Oh, great! There's a free follower."
So key learnings are like how to grow organically, and with real value, you know, and making real relationships.
And I did the same thing. I think on Twitter. And I mean, one of the things about the Clash Royale community is it's a lot of younger crowd because it is a mobile game. So if somebody, maybe they can't afford a console, maybe they can't afford a PC, but everyone pretty much has a phone nowadays, and it's a free game to download. So there was a lot of younger crowd in Clash Royale. So giveaways were a big thing, like giveaways for like an iTunes or a Google Play gift card, because then they could buy gems in the game. And so I used to do a bunch of giveaways, and you could use like these apps where it was like for one entry, they would get an entry if they followed your Twitter, one entry if they followed your Instagram. So they'd go follow. And I swear that people probably make all these fake Twitter accounts just to follow for that. And it's the same thing on Twitter. Like I grew my Twitter following, but like some of it were just like these accounts that people probably created just to like follow for a giveaway, you know?
Right.
So I think that was another mistake. I didn't know any better, you know, and I was just trying to do some good for my community and give back, you know, by doing the giveaways. But I think I ended up with some like pointless followers on social media because of it.
So mostly just that reach, you know, style of advice. But what was there any like lifestyle? Like, were you trying to fit too many stream hours into a week, or how long before you found that rhythm? And were there like, was it awkward at any point? Were you like, I'm trying to do too much right now?
Oh yeah, and I think that was definitely. It took me a few years to figure out what to do for that, because I went through so many changes of like streaming in the evenings and weekends after work, and got to the point where I'm like, I'm working all the time. But it's like it's a hard world because if you're not on, like you're not visible for people, so you feel that kind of pressure for yourself to be live, but then you're trying to find a balance of, okay, well, what about me time or time away from it? And I used to do a split schedule. I would, once I left my full-time job, I would do 3 hours in the morning, 7 to 10 a.m. And then I get back on in the evenings and go on for like 6 to 9 p.m. And then I realized I'm trying to build basically like 2 different audience at once by doing that.
Yeah.
Because, and I did the same thing with games. Like I would play Clash Royale and then switch to Dead by Daylight and tried to do variety. And then it wasn't until like this past year that I was like, I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to make my same time every single day. I'm not going to work weekends because I need that time away from the stream just for like mental health. I feel like you have to, at least for me, I need time away, like where I don't have to be on, or like I'm the same person in person that I am on stream, but you have to be on. You're fully aware that you are in front of the camera. Your job is like, it's an entertainment job, and I'm fully aware of that and I accept it. But you need times where you can just like, not think about anything. And you don't have to be, you deal with so many different personalities as well. So to kind of get away from that for a little, for me, is important.
Well, and you and I have talked about that, off stream before, the idea that you're finding that sustainable, I don't know, work-life balance might not be, it's a buzzword, but you're kind of finding that sustainable rhythm on a week in and week out basis. That's something that you have that structure you're disciplined with it. Like, cause like you're 7 to 2 or whatever, you get your hours in Monday through Friday, and that's your schedule. And I've admired how disciplined you are with it. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, it's always, you're on Saturdays and Sundays, honestly, you put out a bunch of content just like on your Instagram, just about about how you're just kind of taking that time to decompress or spend time with Josh or friends or whatever. Is Twitch still like your number one? Obviously it's your number one as far as hours in, but like, are you focused on Instagram as a content like hub for yourself? Like, do you feel compelled like to be like, I need to be doing more on Instagram or more on stuff that is not Twitch?
I feel that all the time. Like I always feel like, I need to be posting more on Instagram or posting more on Twitter, and like what's the best thing to post. And I try, but some days you just don't feel like posting anything. Right. You're like, today I want just for myself. Like, you're like, I'm not inspired. And I do try to take times. Like I try to, like, if I'm spending time with friends and family, I try to be fully present and not on my phone. And it's really hard to do sometimes, but I try to do that for them and for myself. And is Josh there, like, just in your ear the whole time being like, hey, you need to capture this. Hey, because he's life coach over there. Is he trying to get you to do more, or is he pretty good about it? I think like sometimes he'll be like, hey, you should be posting a picture today, and like he's just like way more mindful of that stuff, where sometimes I don't think about it. But I like, but he also respects it if I'm like, hey, like I need to step away from it today. But he definitely will be saying, oh, you should try to think about like posting a picture today, or posting something on Twitter, or doing a small stream and things like that. And just more so encouraging, I guess. And so what would be, if you had to pin it, what would be the number one most redeeming factor of being a live creator day in and day out? What would you say is the thing that makes you so excited to hit that go live button just daily? I think the fact that you can meet people from all over the world, people that you would probably never ever meet unless you were on Twitch like this. And I feel like I've learned so much from people, and you just never know what you're going to learn from you. I'm talking about like the most random things that have nothing to do with gaming or anything. I just feel like, even like when we've had our full conversations with like Kelly or our friends from Australia, and they're saying, oh, we say like, sherbet is something completely different in the US than it is Australia. And I just love learning things like that about different cultures, things that we'd never know otherwise. That people connection. Yeah. Where have you found there to be a big difference in, so you make a switch from like Clash Royale to then you start splitting games, and then you will ultimately find a home on Sea of Thieves daily. Yeah. Have you seen like a big difference in like, the type of people you meet based on the game? Or oh my gosh.
is that yeah, okay. So big, yeah. Yeah, what's up, like, if you had to compare and contrast some of the communities, what do you find with this Sea of Thieves? Because Sea of Thieves is your daily now.
Yeah.
So what is it about Sea of Thieves specifically that got you hooked at the beginning? Was it the people? Was it the game? Was it a mix of all of it?
I think it was I just loved the graphics to the game, which sounds so simple, but it's so true. And so for the communities are so different. Like I said before, like the Clash Royale community is definitely a younger crowd. And with it, just unfortunately, it just is what it is. It comes like more immaturity sometimes. And so for me, it's been a lot better experience. I think the Sea of Thieves community as a whole is just like more mature. It's more people I feel like similar to myself, or, you know, we're more similar age range. And so I feel like you don't deal with as many people backseat streaming, or like the negative sides, or people coming in and just saying like rude, mean things. Like it still happens, obviously, but like it's just not like it used to be. And it's also a difference that because this game, like you and I were talking about this last night, it's just such a more chill game. Whereas Clash Royale, it's me versus you. You know, it's a tower defense game if you don't know. And so it's about like a 3 to 6 minute match. And you're just doing that over and over and over again. And you know, you've done it competitively. When you're doing competitive games like that, it's kind of like chess and there's strategy to it. People, you know, love to sit back and say, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. Like, you know, you lose and they're like, oh, you suck, you know? And so I think that happens more in games that are competitive like that, whereas this game is more like chill, you know?
Do you find that you're still just like, if someone comes and tries to backseat, are you like, get the hell out of here? What do you like I play this game every day, I know. Or have you been able to like just basically brush it off?
Mix of both, because I've like, there's some people, they'll come in and they'll start telling me things and I'm like, bruh, like I have like, I definitely, they'll tell me something, I'm like, that's so like, I definitely know that. Like, I feel like give me a chance, like watch my gameplay first and then like offer advice if you see it's needed. But at this, on the same side of that, like I've also learned so much from people. People have shared so much knowledge, and I feel like I still learn things about this game from chat all the time. So I feel like it's much more helpful. It feels more helpful in this game than it does like people telling me what to do. Or telling me, oh, you did this wrong or that wrong. It more so feels like advice, if that makes sense.
Well, and so you were getting the casting opportunities with Clash Royale as well. So was there a part of like Sea of Thieves where you're like, hey, and not only do I like this game and is the community cool, but did you see an opportunity for casting? Did the casting at all? Was that an allure for you, or did you move on just because you felt like, okay, it's time for a new chapter and a new kind of game that I played every day?
100%. Just felt like I was trying to find where I fit because Arena wasn't out yet. And I have like, shout out to the Sea of Champions deal, because I did get the opportunity to cast Sea of Champions, and I felt like, oh, this feels like so nice. It feels good. And I've also gotten the opportunity to compete. It started with Merlin at JC, and he and I competed together with 2 other guys at the Battle for Orlando, and ended up getting top 5 and qualifying out of like 80 teams. So that was real, like, feels good to do that. And so that was my first time kind of being on the competitor side of things. And then I've gotten to do Race of Legends and Sea of Champions and competed and enjoyed that. But I definitely miss like the casting part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the way that you describe it, it sounds like that's a huge part of what you love about, you know, this sort of like, call it like gaming industry, just being able to make content. Sounds like you really love it.
I do. And it was a really hard road for me after switching Clash Royale, but I knew it was time, like, for me to move on. And it was also got like when Fortnite came out, man, that's like where like a lot of the younger crowd went to Fortnite. So, and I feel like there are still pro players that do well on Twitch on Clash Royale. There's still a lot of YouTubers that do well, but for me, as somewhat more casual player, not a pro player, streaming on Twitch, it became really hard. And so I was like, okay, I need to switch games. Man, I tried Dead by Daylight for like 7 months and I just couldn't grow. I tried Hearthstone for months and I couldn't grow. And then I eventually just tried Sea of Thieves again. I had played it on and off since beta. And then that's when I finally and I think after doing Guardian Con last year and competing and meeting the devs, like I got to meet John McFarlane there. That's when I think it locked me into really loving this game, and the fact that they started doing the monthly content updates. It was just perfect timing for me, but it was a hard road to get here.
So are you still focused on casting at all? Like, are you seeing like when a big game comes out like Valorant, are you like, hey, I need to get involved in this community and I need to know the game because I want to pursue casting it, you know, in maybe a larger scale esport, more proper esport? Because I mean, Sea of Champions and Arena, they're super fun, and they can be like, you and I have competed together. They can be really intense, but at its core, Sea of Thieves, the development team, I think we know this. They're not building an esport experience. They're building they're building like an adventure game experience, something that isn't just geared fundamentally towards that sort of like super competitive PvP crowd. So do you feel like at some point you're going to be like, hey, I need to get, like when Valorant pops, you're like, hey, I need to know this game because I kind of want to get involved in casting for it?
Maybe. And I mean, the hard thing for me is like, it's hard because the biggest esports, as you know, are like the FPS games, and those are just the games that I don't have the biggest interest in, which is kind of, I guess, a little backwards, but I still have opportunities to do things on camera, I guess, that aren't necessarily casting. Like I was doing before COVID hit, I had an esports segment on NESN, which is New England Sports Network.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a show that airs on their TV network every Friday called NESN After Hours, and it's all sports related, but they wanted to have an esports segment, so they brought me on, and I did an esports segment every Friday night on NESN. And before COVID, of course, and then COVID shut down the studio, so I haven't done it since.
Where was that? Where was that broadcast?
Up in Boston, or just in the New England area.
Okay, and were you going up there? You were actually going up there to be a part of it?
No, I went up there for the first like introduction of me. I was on the NESN After Hours for them to introduce me. But other than that, I did it remotely. I'd film at home here, and I would, you know, do the research of what I wanted to report on that week for, you know, in the esports and streaming world, record it and do my end of editing it, and then send it to them, and then they would air it during the After Hours segment.
And so COVID hits, and then it's just that. Is that something that you'll go back to, or?
I hope so. I'm not sure yet, but fingers are crossed for it.
And so, I mean, from the casting perspective, I just think it's really cool that you get into that. Is that something that like, honestly, if you're looking at the next, call it like 5 years or like the next like sort of phase for you as you like grow as a creator, is that, how important is that to you, or what else are you looking at from a content perspective?
I think my ultimate goal, I would love to perhaps, I guess, work in TV. And I've auditioned in the past like year. I auditioned to be a host of a show that was here in DC, but I think it was more in a background that I just don't have. It was in a background of art and like the art world in DC, and I'm just not knowledgeable about that. So, but I still tried out for it. I still look for like jobs or casting calls for hosting. So I think ultimately I would like to do that, and like I'm thinking of things all the time that I would like to try to do, but I definitely I try to pick up side gigs like that as well. Like for Stream Elements, I do a lot of their tutorial videos. They'll hire me to do those, and I film those, so I get kind of that satisfaction of that performance side. It says it's not essentially esports, but it's still like satisfying for me and enjoyable for me to do those. Do
you get a lot of like random opportunities that are like emailed to you or like brought to you, you know, by however? Like, do you get a lot of like really like kind of like one-off type of stuff, and you have to be like, what is this even? Or
oh yeah,
what's like what are some of the craziest sort of content opportunity or talent opportunities that you've had, and which ones are you like, I kind of want to do this?
Man, I think, well, I've had like definitely some random ones, like you said, like where you're like, oh my god, I don't know if this is like legit or not. But like one of the things is, well, there was a Clash Royale tournament that I got invited to cast, and it was in Jakarta, and I was like, oh, this sounds like real sus. Like, oh my god, I can't imagine flying to Jakarta.
Were they gonna pay for it?
Oh yeah. And the only reason, but luckily I knew one of the other casters that was going, and he got hired. And I only didn't go because it was one of my very good friend's weddings. So I ended up not doing that. But at first I was like, this sounds super weird. But I mean, sometimes you just have to go for it. And there was also like one of the people he ran the esports organization I still work with, Bren Esports. So he and I got paired up in Clash Royale. He was the one that would do like, he would start these tournaments in game, and then I would host them on my Twitch channel for him to kind of grow his esports network a little bit. And he's based in the Philippines, in Manila, Philippines. And he had invited me and a group of other people to come to Manila. And at first I'm like, oh my God, like this is gonna go, like I'm gonna like get murdered or something. But Josh,
this is where you bring Josh. This is where you just bring Josh everywhere. Oh
yeah. I mean, you have to be so careful. And there's some things that I've gone myself. I can't remember where I was going. Oh, I flew to like Italy to do an esports event myself. And I had to go through like the Istanbul airport in Turkey alone. And that was like a really scary time, like as a female. And they just do security a little different there. They pat you down. They open your luggage like out in the open, like sift through your luggage. And I'm just like, oh man, like this is a little scary.
I mean, it's big like guys with big guns too, right? Like out there, it's like everyone's trying. Yeah. They're big security.
Oh yeah, it's the same with like like we did end up going to Manila. Everything was fine. Bren is an amazing person. The guy that runs the Bren Esports, he's just really a unique and wonderful human being. I
mean, you said your parents are really supportive. So at that, I mean, when you tell your friends and family, especially your parents, like that you're flying across the world to cast an which esport event was it?
For which one?
Was that you're going to Manila? Was that Clash?
Oh yeah, that was for Clash Royale.
That was Clash. At that point, are your parents like, listen? I mean, it's one thing to be live and develop an audience here in the U.S., but like, what is going on with this flying around, like especially by yourself? Are you getting pushback from your friends and family at that point, or is it still just full bore support?
I think it helped the fact that Josh is coming with me, for sure. And I mean, like the ones where I went alone without him, I was already like kind of involved and already knew other people that I had worked with and knew that were also going, so it felt legitimate and it felt safe that I have another person that's going to be there. But it's definitely always, scary, I guess, a little bit. But I think for the most part, not. Because in the very beginning, he went with me to almost all of them. And then I think that was I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like for my mom, that was her time. Once I started getting these gigs, she realized, like, okay, this is like an actual thing. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, not that she's ever been negative about it, but I think she became more into it and supportive of it once she realized, like, okay, you can actually make a career out of this.
And she's like, hey, the checks are clearing.
Yeah, she's like, all right.
like it's happening. This is for real.
But my dad, my dad's so not a tech person whatsoever. It was kind of funny, but he's just always been super supportive. And he was definitely the more strict parent. So it seems so backwards, but he, like every live event that I've done, he has watched all of them. And he'll be like texting me like, oh, I'm rooting for this player.
Was he watching our Athena's trial?
No, I don't think he watched that.
The competition stuff?
He's not really good at using Twitch. He's good at using YouTube.
Everyone, guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. If you guys are just now tuning in or you joined, within the past half an hour or so, thank you for coming to hang out. This is Party Boats and Thieves, episode 2. D, thank you so much for doing this and hanging out today and being a part of this podcast experience as we get it kicked off and rolling. Guys, this Party Boats and Thieves is a podcast experience brought to you and fueled by Madrinas Coffee. As a reminder, you guys can go to madrinascoffee.com and use discount code BBXH to get 20% off your entire order. And if you guys go to madrinascoffee.com and use that code BBXH and support D, you guys will see a fancy alert pop up on D's stream right now. Just make sure you put your name in the Twitch handle field at the checkout. That way it's sort of like it needs all the fields entered. That way that triggers the alert. So make sure at the checkout process, you guys see that and you enter your name. Again, BBXH will get you 20% off. D's drinking a vanilla. I'm drinking a mocha right now in our shakers. You can actually get one tub of each and then get a shaker for free with our cold brew bundle. It's a $39.99 bundle where you get both flavors of our cold brew powder, and then the shaker gets added into the order for free. It's all part of the bundle. You'll see it as you're browsing the catalog of our cold brews. But again, D, thank you so much for hanging out for episode 2.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on here. This is fun.
Also, we are meg hunting right now. And if anybody's been hanging out with us on the morning party boats earlier in the week, you'll know that we've had no luck finding megs during this meg event, except for when that Reaper 5 was running from us. That was our one and only meg that we found. So the only time that we wouldn't want to meg it is when it popped up. Mm-hmm. Do the megs give how many shark teeth? Like 20 or 30 or something, or is it different?
Depending on what it is, yeah. Like the blue one is 10, and then it goes 20, 30, 40, and then 100 for shrouded ghost, I think.
Does the meg meat give us any?
One of my mods said yes, that it does count.
It does? Okay.
I mean, we turned them in.
So if you couldn't, and we're just gonna, by the way, I figured we'll just keep sailing trying to find a shark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to find a big shark. Okay, so if you couldn't game anymore, for whatever reason, let's say, I don't know, you just wake up one morning and your hands are gone.
Yeah.
Like what would you be doing for fun? Like if you weren't gaming, like, because obviously it's hobby, it's profession, it's you get to do it off stream for fun, you get to do it on stream, and it's like, but if gaming wasn't such a central focus, what would displace that in your life?
I mean, the other things that I do for fun is, so I play soccer. I just played on Wednesday just for like a adult league. I grew up playing soccer, and so now I just kind of play it for exercise and for fun. So I like doing that. And I think if I were to do something career-wise, if I wasn't gaming, I think I would start looking into maybe being a fitness coach and nutrition coach for other people that are looking to compete. Because I find all of it so fascinating, and that's my, I think, passion. Like, I'm just obsessed with the topic of nutrition and how it affects people's bodies and how different workouts affect the body. I just find it all so fascinating and love to read about it and learn about it.
Have you done any formal education for it, or is this, it's just been so much just, you're reading articles, like you're doing just ongoing just stuff on your own?
Yeah, so I went and got my personal training certification last year. It just expired, so I'd have to renew it. But I just got the personal training certification, as a backup in case I needed it, or if I wanted to start doing YouTube. I just wanted to have some kind of authority on it. But also just to like genuinely, truthfully learn, because I feel like there's so much random information on the internet and social media to sort through now. So I just wanted to know for real from a textbook about that. And then also last year, I went and got certified in Body Pump, which is a group fitness class. It's kind of like a standardized ones that a lot of different gyms have, like these Les Mills.
Body Pump? It's called Body Pump?
Body Pump. And so I did that. And like, of course, as soon as I got certified, then COVID hit. And so I couldn't start working at a gym. And I've thought about doing it now, but now I'm just not sure. It's a lot of work. Like, it's learning choreography. Like, the Body Pump's a full gym class, but it's all with barbells. So it's a weightlifting class. And you have to learn specific moves to specific songs. It's an hour class. So it was a lot to learn. So I'm not, after learning it, I'm like, I'm not sure I want to do this. My goal was to maybe like teach one class a week at my gym, but.
So anyone that gets to know you knows that that's such a critical part of your life. Like I said, you have a more lifestyle mentality with it. Like you really commit to health and wellness. It's such a central part of your life, and by being live with so many hours throughout the week, it's like I said, anyone that gets to know you knows it's so important to you. Do you get a lot of that in that more of the vein of the personal trainer side? Do you get a lot of people that come in and want advice? Like, are people like, hey, I'm just now getting involved in this or that, like, I'm starting to work out, I'm starting to make this a bigger part of my life. Do you get a lot of people that come in and ask, like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah, people start having, especially because like I said, like, I'm so obsessed with it and nutrition that I end up talking about it all the time. I always laughed at, like, there's the whole people stereotype, like, oh, the vegans are CrossFitters, because they always talk about it. I'm like, I know that that's me, but with like that fitness and nutrition stuff. But so people do come in and ask, and I try to give them advice without, I guess, swaying them too much, because, I'm not a doctor and everybody is different. So, but I try to just tell them what I do and what works for me. Do
you get like, so people, you talked about people that backseat game. Do you get like on the flip side, do you get like backseat like fitness coaching? People will be like, you'll say something and then someone comes in and like, no, don't do that, and then all of a sudden now you're in this new, like you're in this debate that you just didn't want to have?
Sometimes I think more so it happens with like eating. Like people will
diet.
say, you know, like oh, you shouldn't eat meat because of this and that, you know. And I tell them like, hey, like I respect that, but that's like not my. And they'll try to come in and argue with this about that, or well, I think that's the biggest thing. But other than that, I haven't dealt with that too much though.
So in this, so I mean, gaming's not going to go away for you. It's, you know, it's probably going to be a thing that you do for a long time. You love it, right? I mean, you're waking up, you're grinding still, but I mean, you found this sort of sustainable schedule. But being live, I was just talking about that. Being live, everyone kind of gets to know you, and regardless if you're gaming or not, you're going to be you're live, and you're having real conversations, and there's no way to hide like the real you. It's who you are. So if you had to think about the most embarrassing moment that you've had, now, like it could be on stream, it could be not on stream. Burger brought up a ridiculously embarrassing moment that was not on stream. I don't know if you've heard it. It was the first date that he had with his first date with Berg's wife. Just probably the most embarrassing thing you could think of. So anything, you probably can't top that, but what are, like, live or not live, what is the most embarrassing moment that you could think of? And if it was live, is there a clip of it?
There is. Okay, so hey, somebody just bought some. Thanks, Hawk. Oh my god.
Was that Hawk?
Some Madrinas. Yeah,
Yo,
Hawk just got some Madrinas.
Hawk, thank you so much for loading up on Madrinas using discount code BBXH, getting 20% off. As you guys see, that alert is up and running. So if you guys do want to load up on Madrinas, our cold brew powders, you guys can get them for 20% off using Dee's discount code, and the alert will pop up. Just make sure you put your Twitch name in the handle at checkout. All right, some embarrassing moment.
Okay, so I think the first one that comes to mind did happen on stream. As far as I know, there is still a clip of it. Oh, let me see. We were doing a cooking stream. Oh my god. And I was taking kickboxing at the time, so I was all like big and bad. Like, oh yeah, Josh is like, I'll bet you can't, like, hold this hand. I bet you can't kick my hand. I'm like, yes, I definitely can. And I had on like soccer sandals with socks. So
Josh, send me the clip. Josh, send me the clip. All right, keep going. Keep explaining it.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, he's not there? Oh, I thought I heard him in the background.
No. He was. He got up and went somewhere. Oh, yeah. There's the clip.
There it is.
I'll embarrass myself and put it in your channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I took my sandals off, which was a mistake, because then I'm on the hardwood floor with just socks on. And I don't know if you just want to watch it or if you want me to tell you
I do. Could you actually put that in the DM on Discord, and I'll pull it up on stream? So it's on the cooking. You also have another one. I think the one in your raid video is really funny, where you add like that whole entire thing of like chili flakes or whatever, or chili powder, whatever it was.
Oh, it was paprika. Now named Paprika Gate.
Paprika Gate?
Yeah, Paprika Gate. Where I dumped a bunch of paprika in there. And Josh didn't even know till he went back and watched the VOD and was like, you. Oh, God.
Oh, here it is. Here it is right here.
Yeah. Oh,
that's also in your raid video, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
I think that might be. I think, yeah.
I fully ate it and like fell on the ground. Oh, my God.
Hold on, one more time.
And he like PogChamp laughed so hard.
That's the best. When you do that live, that's the best. Josh is also, he's a good life coach, but I mean, if you're going to mess up around him, he's going to let you know about it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to laugh at you and rag on you.
Okay, so what about not on stream?
Oh man.
As far as embarrassing
not
moment.
On stream. I have to think about that. I'm trying to think. Like, I know so many like embarrassing things happen to me all the time, and I'm trying to think of like what the worst.
Well, I mean, because you still stay really. I mean, it's when you have a content creation life, and you're being, you commit to going live for as many hours as you do. It can be easy to forget to include that social element to your life. I mean, like really just spending time like with your friends. Your social network outside of work, outside of whatever. But you do a good job of hanging out, like. From as far as I can tell, like I said, you do a good job of like publishing on Instagram a lot of what you have going on outside of streaming. So as far as I can tell, it seems as if you stay pretty well connected with your social network, like all your friends and everything like that. Which I mean, if you're gonna have any embarrassing moments, it's probably gonna be around them. Probably be around just like in those off hours, whatever.
I think I have mine, because I kind of you were reminding me kind of like with Burger and his story, so mine's a little different, but basically there was a day, like this is like when Josh and I were first together, and I'd already met his family, but only a few times, because they don't live around here, like his dad and stepmom, they live down in Florida, but so I had only met them like one other time, and they were up here, and I was going to meet him, like his dad, stepmom, his sister with her husband and their kids. I was going to meet them all for lunch, and I happened to be driving Josh's car. I can't remember why I was driving his car, but I was, and he used to have Acura, which I have a RAV4, which is more, it's SUV, but like the hood is this is relevant because the hood is just so much longer on the Acura. And so I was trying to park, and let me tell you, I've never been in an accident, knock on wood. So I've never been in an accident or anything like that, but I was trying to park in this parking spot to go in and meet them. And for some reason, once I started parking, I realized, ooh, this is like a really tight parking spot. I should probably not park here. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna park somewhere else. So I started backing the car out and like turned to get, and I just scraped the side of another car, and Josh was like so like into his car and everything. I was like, oh my god. And I completely and I just didn't know what to do. I like panicked and like drove and parked in another spot, and then like went inside. I'm like on the verge of tears. I'm like, can I talk to you? And like,
you're like, no one saw that. No one saw that.
Yeah. But I mean, I did go back and like left a note on the car and everything. I will say that. But my first instinct was, oh my god, I need to get out of here. And like I was so embarrassed. And like Josh, like his sister, his dad, they're blunt, they're honest, they're gonna rag on you for like something like that. I was like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna hear the end of this. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know them that well, and I was just yeah. Well,
listen, if your most embarrassing moment is a little, that's not even an accident. That's just like it's barely even a fender bender. It's just like you scraping another car. If that's your most, I would say you're doing pretty well. If that's the most embarrassing, at least it.
That's the first one that comes to mind.
That's the first one that comes to mind.
I'll think of something worse.
Okay, non-gaming question.
Okay.
This is just a real shoot from the hip. If you had to say what your spirit animal was, or is.
Oh my god, I love squirrels, so I'm gonna, I guess, say squirrel. I don't know what would make it like about the squirrel make it my spirit animal, but I just really love squirrels, and I don't know why. I know they're like basically just little tree rodents.
I've heard the story of you and this squirrel in DC so many times, and
that was a big moment for me.
You got the pet. You just basically a squirrel let you pet it.
Yep, he was literally, this is like in DC, down where all the monuments are, and so it's very populated, very touristy area. So there's this little squirrel, and he's just on a trash can, and he's eating some little French fries, so he's distracted. So I just went over and like pet him. I was so scared it was gonna bite me. Another controversial question. All right, get ready, because it's super. Like I said, crazy times right now. So like 2020 is wild. Like politically, socially, there's a lot going on in the world. So controversial question here. Who would win in a fight, a grizzly bear or a gorilla? Oh god. Oh man. I'm gonna say a grizzly bear, because have you ever seen the movie The Revenant?
I know of it. I don't know if I've watched all of it.
You will know this scene then. There is a scene in that movie where Leonardo DiCaprio gets attacked by a bear. That scene is so terrifying and seems so realistic. And if anybody's seen that, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So because of that, I'm going to say a grizzly bear. I'm
with you on that. That is a question. I feel like that question draws more ire out of people than the jalapeno, than the pineapple. Than the pineapple and pizza question. You wouldn't believe.
Many people think gorilla.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the emotions that people have around this debate. I'm saying I'm with you. I think the grizzly bear wins because grizzly bears are really fast. But at least
have you ever seen one run?
I mean, from
Those
what I
things are no
not
joke.
in person, I would lose my mind if
have.
I was around you have in person?
Yes.
What, at the
because
zoo?
No, I was driving down the highway once, 95 for anybody who's in the DMV area, and I just look over to my left, like on a hill off the highway. There was just a grizzly bear. I don't know if it's a grizzly bear, probably like a black bear or brown bear, but
Just
it's
a bear.
like running. Just a bear, a full-size bear running, and that thing looked crazy, and it was so fast. I was like, "Whoa! I don't ever want to see a bear up close."
Yeah, and that's just probably honestly, I don't know where grizzly bears are from. Even you probably just saw like a normal bear though. I can only imagine like a grizzly bear to me just sounds like a scaled up version of a normal bear.
Yes.
Just like it's just like the super stats. It's like a bear that went Super Saiyan. It's just huge. It's super fast. That's why I take it over gorilla. But I don't even need to sell you because you're on on Team Grizzly Bear with me. Yeah. So all right. Obviously, Sea of Thieves has been super fun and has been an awesome element of your career. And you've taken the real deep dive. You and I get to sail together like almost every morning, which has been so awesome to get to know you and everyone else that we sail with. What's next for you? What's like the big thing that you're keying on next that you're like super excited for that you maybe not have told anybody yet outside of like, just, your, personal circle?
Well, I recently just got involved with Boston Sports Partners as their esports consultant. This has been announced, so I can say this. But we're working with a charity, which I can't say who. It is looking to get really into esports and to make a big splash. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of this. We have big plans that we're working on, and it's just a new adventure for me working on the charity side and kind of like the background side, but bringing, I guess, the world of this charity together with esports and, just my background in esports and in Twitch streaming, and to bring those together. So I think I think eventually it will be something big and something cool. So that's my new adventure that I'm working on right now.
So as a consultant, you're talking to people that are kind of outside of the gaming and quote unquote gaming world, typically.
People in the we're working like with this charity and just trying to guide them on how to successfully combine the world of esports and charity.
So
together.
What's really interesting, what's really funny is like the word esports as a buzzword outside of the gaming world, because obviously I don't think you would qualify, what we do in the morning party boats or anything like that as like, oh, hey, look at this esports squad, right? I mean, it's just a bunch of creators. So it's like,
True.
do you have a bunch, do you have people that are like, oh, hey, we really want to get into esports. You're an esport person. Are you having to when it comes to the education on the consultation side, how elementary do you have to get when it comes to talking to people outside of the industry and what kind of questions do people, I mean, because that's an interesting spot, right? I mean, you're consulting for a firm that's not typically you're spending time here. How much education do you have to do for people on the gaming world?
I think it depends on the person and their exposure. And a lot of people, they just, I think, don't fully understand what all it entails. And they just don't understand it yet because they understand what video games are and that people play them. I guess, but and the point that you make, differentiating between esports and content creation, because they're two completely different things. And so I think that's something you definitely have to teach people. And it's surprising still the amount of people that don't understand of what a world and what a market esports has become, and that you can fill an arena for an esports event, and that people have their esports players that they love and they want to see compete, kind of like sports. And that's a new world. So I totally understand that people aren't there yet, but they're learning. So I think it takes definitely some explaining of what the world is and what it has become in the past 10 years. Do
you think you'll be in the esports/gaming category of content, pretty much for your whole career? Or where do you see, for you personally, where do you see gaming going in your life? And how do you see yourself growing alongside it? And basically how do you see it growing as well?
I think for me, definitely, I have found that I love, like I said, working in the side of live events. Like, well, I love turning on the camera on Twitch and streaming, and you have that opportunity to get to know people, which, like I said, is one of the greatest things about Twitch. But I just love the part of like being on stage, or being like when the camera goes live at a live event, you know, and you're on, you have to perform in that sense. I just love that. That is a rush for me. I enjoy it. So the more that I can do that, like, the happier I am. But it is just like, it's still harder to come by those jobs, and you kind of have to like get yourself in there, and it's a lot about who you know and getting involved in that, and what, like you pointed out, like what games you're playing at the time or you're making content for. So that's my ultimate goal, is to do that more on a regular basis.
And do you feel like you're better equipped for live versus more, or do you feel like you have a more of an aspiration for it in a sense because of that finishing school background, because you were a part of like, and you know how to like hold yourself up, and you love that sort of being in the moment and like holding yourself to a certain expectation of, you know, presentation?
Definitely. And I think because like I worked there, working at the school more than actually doing any of the modeling or acting stuff, like I'm all the time like speaking in front of these students, you know, whether doing orientation or telling them how the day is going to go. So like being on stage or being on camera, I feel like I'm at a point now where it doesn't make me nervous, it makes me excited. And so I feel like it's, you know, you feel like, okay, like I know this is something I love. I feel alive when I'm doing it. So yeah, I think it definitely has helped me significantly, to where there's just little things that I feel like you learn. Like if you mess up lines or something doesn't go right, you just keep going. Because most of the time, like the audience, they have no idea. They don't know what your lines are. And so I feel like learning those little tips and tricks from that school has helped me a ton.
All right. I mean, another super controversial question. Are you ready for it?
Yep, I'm ready.
Again, crazy times. Is Jumanji a movie about time travel?
Oh my God.
Yo, you've been a party to so many of these conversations already.
Oh yeah. I don't think so. I think I don't think it's time travel. I think you're going to like an alternate world. You were going into the board game in Jumanji. Even though, but at the same time, when you come back out, but I think time keeps going in real life, but you are in the game's land there. So I don't think it's time travel.
Okay, no to time travel. I get a lot of people on the grizzly bear one with me. Hold on. What do you?
I just found a trophy snow wrecker, which is
get out of here.
One. Yeah.
That's
we did it today.
We did it. We found the rare fish for D. This is, I mean, we found no megs, but we finally found that rare fish for you.
Oh my God. Oh,
how many of these? How many of those do you need still?
Oh, let's go look right now.
Trophy. That is confirmed. The super rare one, right?
Yes.
That is okay.
I have 7 out of 10 of those.
Yo, and I think if we sell that cooked, it's gonna sell for like it's trophy, right? Like 14K.
Yes.
Is it cooked already?
Oh yeah. Yep, it's already cooked. Perfectly cooked.
Good. At least we got something. We've literally sailed for 90 minutes and have not yet found a meg.
Oh
we also haven't gotten Skelly shipped.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? Like we've gotten no Kraken. There's been no PVE, and literally we're looking for these shark teeth right now.
Yep.
What's the last gift that you've given somebody?
The last gift in life, or
just in life? Just in life.
Let's see. The last gift, I mean, other than like we gave, oh, my niece. Okay, so my niece's birthday was on Monday. She just turned 10. She's the first ever niece. So that's my girl right there. But
she's 10 now.
Yep, she's 10 as of Monday. And you know what she wanted? She wanted Minecraft. So
just the game?
Yep, she has it on tablet, the Minecraft Pocket, or I guess it's called, or something like that. So now she has it on PC. So I gifted her Minecraft, and she also wanted some turtle stickers. So I also got her some turtle stickers.
Gifting Minecraft to a 10-year-old. There are so many, like my niece and nephews are getting into Minecraft. I feel like Minecraft is doing great great like brain building work for the next generation. Like because it challenges creativity and the more empirical side of the mind. Like you're having to actually, you know, there's a little bit of math and science involved into like, you know, as far as, you know, being 10 goes, like you got to like actually put some planning forth, which is really cool. I feel like that's an amazing gift you can give. And I talk about that a lot, actually, like just to people, like people be like, oh yeah, my kid plays Minecraft a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I bet your kid's like way smarter than me.
Yeah. And they have to learn that they have to go out and collect. If they want to make something, they have to go out and collect these different items and earn it to make it. So I appreciate that it teaches them.
All right,
I feel like I got that from gaming.
If you're picking 4 people, any mix of any 4 alive now, you know, maybe historical people, fictional, non-fictional, that you want to invite over to hang with, or you want to invite to the morning party boat, who are those 4?
Ooh, man, oh my gosh, those are really hard. So I'll start with like the gaming side of it. So one of the first female streamers that I watched and looked up to was Kitty Plays. And I've gotten the opportunity to meet her twice at 2 different Twitch cons. Even though I'm sure she has no idea who I am, but she's just a lovely person. And I mean, she's been through such a journey with her streaming, and she's just all about spreading like good energy, positivity. She doesn't, to my knowledge, she doesn't play Sea of Thieves, but man, she would be, I feel like, a great person to just sail with and get to know. So that would be, I think, my first one. All
right, so we have one spot on the boat spoken for.
Okay. Another one would be to go more into like my fitness world. Either the people who have went, so in bodybuilding, like the Super Bowl version of it is the Olympia. And
where's that?
That's in this year. It's going to be in Las Vegas. So they hold that. It'll be in December this year, Las Vegas. And I've listened to Joe Rogan's podcast, and also watched a documentary on Ronnie Coleman. He's an 8-time Mr. Olympia champion, and his story is just absolutely incredible. And he's such an inspiring person, and he's been through a lot and still going through a lot now. And I mean, he also worked as a cop, and he just stayed working as a police officer, even though he's like, has this Mr. Olympia title, and he's just this massive dude, and I can't imagine being pulled over by him. So I think I would choose him because I think
What's
he's
his name?
just Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman, okay.
Or the other side of it, on the female side, is my favorite is Ashley Kaltwasser. I think she's won the Miss Bikini Olympia 3 times, but she's just a quirky, fun person. I think she'd probably be like horrible at like video games. I don't think she plays any, which I think would be hilarious.
Well, I thought you were gonna say Joe Rogan. I'm like, yo, I'd say Joe Rogan. Get in this can. I'll shoot you out. Let's see how you siege a boat.
So going on to the podcast, there's also another podcast that I like called My Favorite Murder. And one of the main ones that I got into. I love podcasts, and these 2 ladies, they just go through. They each every week will each get a murder story or I survived story and kind of tell it in their own words, but they're both just so great to listen to because they have a way of like making the podcast funny, but also being completely respectful of the people involved in the stories, of the victims of the stories. And I don't know which one of them I would pick because one of them, I guess she was a comedy writer and TV for so long, so she's so quick-witted and hilarious, but the other one just is so shameless, and so she's funny. And I think I would probably pick the quick-witted one. Karen Kilgariff is her name.
Karen,
I'd pick her.
So Karen, Ronnie, and Kitty.
Yeah. Oh my god. This already sounds like such a funny thing. And then, gosh, this is such a hard choice. Maybe these are all like celebrities, but that's.
Hey, it can be anybody. I mean, you could say like Dumbledore. Anybody.
Dumbledore.
Anybody.
I think maybe Penelope Cruz for the 4th slot because she's my all-time favorite actress, and I think she's beautiful and she's multilingual. She's so smart and just a great overall actress. So I don't know. I feel like I would just want to talk to her and get to know her. So I think that would be my 4th person.
So
random
you already said that you didn't. I mean, as far as actress goes, you already said that you don't feel like that. Like that's not where your passion is as far as content and talent and creation. But do you ever see yourself getting into like more VOD style content? or do you
Like YouTube?
yeah, like YouTube or whatever, in any field, or like with any sort of like distribution strategy, or like are you live and like you love live and you're just powerfully drawn to it, and this is where where you see yourself?
So a little bit of both. So it's always been like on my to-do or bucket list, so to speak, to work on my YouTube. And I just actually started working with a YouTube editor. Shout out to Stolen GG. He's been doing them for me. I just started with him. He actually lives not far from me, so I got to hang out with him and his girl, Queens GG, and they're amazing people. So he's helping me with that side of things, and I would love to do more and just dive into that world a little bit more at YouTube. But what you made a good point about live. I noticed that like it is a little bit harder for me to do recorded videos because it is like it's so different from live, because live you mess up or stumble on your words, you just keep going. It's just understood that it happens. But when you're trying to almost like script yourself and say it and deliver, it's the same thing with acting. Like the scripts or something about it, it's just hard for me. I get to the point where I start recording it and I say what I want to say and I'm like, "Wah!" and stop recording, restart, And so it's a little harder for me to do that than it is live. Whereas even like when I've done the live events where I have to read from like a teleprompter, that I'm like, no problem. It's like my brain is like, okay, we're live. You don't mess up, you go. But man, trying to record YouTube is really, it's not easy for me.
It's almost like, in a sense, because you have put so many hours into live, you know how to like always maintain endearing regardless if you're stumbling or if you're messing up,
roll
like
with it.
there's a like a charm to being live, and everyone kind of knows you're gonna, you're not gonna be perfect, but like on the flip side, there's kind of an expectation that you are perfect when it's recorded. So there's like probably an added element of pressure there. Plus it's like one of those things that you just haven't put too much time into it, because you have felt, like at least from what I can tell, you felt like you love the live side of it.
Right. Absolutely. I would say that's a good, true statement.
All right. Real talk for 2020 versus like, any Jumanji question or anything like that. Is there something this year? I mean, because obviously it's been a challenging year for many for a lot of different reasons, but is there something that this year has taught you that has helped you? Because it's, in all the adversity, there's probably a lot of key learnings from it. Is there something from this year that you're like, oh, I know this more about myself, or I know this more about what I love, or like a relationship I have? Is there something specific to this year that you've learned?
I think like you said, there is like a silver lining to all this stuff with the COVID and the quarantine and things happening. And I think a big one is like teaching ourselves to just slow down a little bit. And I feel like we're always like trying to be on the go and taking so many things on, at least myself and a lot of people I know, like my family. And so it's been a time where it forces us to slow down, and we're not commuting into work anymore. Not that I am, but I know people that are. And like you can't go out and do this. You can't go out and do that because things are closed. They're not open. So I feel like it's almost like a big reset for everybody, and realizing that we don't have to constantly be on the go or to overwhelm ourselves with always having things to do and staying so busy. And so I think it's a big time to decompress for everybody a little bit.
Like a reset year?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah, like a forced reset for everybody.
Because I know you and Josh get to spend a good amount of time with one another. Is that new to this year? Like, was he going into an office before?
He was. He was teleworking 2 days out of the week.
Okay.
So,
and now he's every day at home.
But I mean, like, he and I, like, I don't know, like, when I'm streaming, like, I'm full focused into stream. Like, sometimes I'll chat with him outside of it, but otherwise I'm full focused into it. But I mean, we don't really ever fight. Like, I don't know. We're just like, we don't mind. It hasn't been much of a change for us, I guess. Nothing significant.
It's just that there's so much more proximity for so many people, because like you said, people they're not doing that morning drive to work. But the other side of that is everyone's getting way more time at home.
Yeah.
So
for me, like, I guess it didn't feel like a significant change for me, because I already work from home. Like, definitely the gym part of it, the gyms were closed for a while, and that was definitely one of my hobbies, so to speak. Same with soccer. And so I definitely was missing soccer. But I mean, Josh bought a squat rack for when all this started, just in case, gyms stay closed, and they did. I mean, they're open now, but it wasn't for a while. So we still had that to go to, and like hanging out with friends. That was, I think, a big hard part for us because we just enjoy hanging out with our friends. But a lot of our friends are also gamers, and we also have Twitch. And did we just get a Meg? We did.
We finally got a Meg.
Wow. Oh my God.
All right. We got a Meg. We can finally do this.
Who is it? Another crest.
Is it
okay?
The purple one?
Purple, yeah.
It's the Twitch Prime Meg.
Woohoo!
There's also a galley nearby. They look like they might want to come hang out, maybe. So, hey, let's get some shark teeth with this.
Yes, please.
Yo, this would have like high key been the most exciting thing ever if that was a shrouded ghost.
Oh my God, I had the same exact thought. Like, that would be so amazing, especially during this shark event.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we can just get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite cosmetic set? Like full set. Because I know what your favorite figurehead is. Like it's the collector. It's the squirrel. But what's your favorite full set for the cosmetics?
I like the Admiral stuff because it's red, and red's my favorite color. So, or like, honestly, I like to mix and match them. So I like the smaller items like capstan wheel. I really like the Reaper stuff because it's black and red. I just think it looks cool. And then for the sails, I really like from the tall tail. I don't know what tall tail it is. Those are, I think it's called the Morning Star sails. They're red.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like those sails. And then these are my favorite cannons, of course. You and I always use these cannons.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're just for cosmetics I don't care about, but like...
What?
That was a weird bite. The fact that they're shorter, I just like them.
What was that bite about?
I don't know. That was really weird, though.
That was a really weird bite.
Charge.
He like juked us. He like did like a little spin move.
Faked out.
And went to the back of the ship.
I got knocked off.
What's your favorite tall tail?
Oh, definitely tall tail. I think it's number 7. I think it's called the Fate of the Morning Star, where you have to walk around with the lantern and you open the coffin and you have to follow the footprints,
Yeah. I've done them all one time.
Okay. So that one, it's just a little spooky, and I like spooky stuff like that and Halloween, and so it makes me think of that. So that one's by far my favorite. And I like the whole following the footsteps of the lantern.
Yeah. What's one thing that you wish they would add to this game? Like, what's your like personal like? It's in the back of your mind. You think about it. Like, what's the thing that you think about with Sea of Thieves? You're like, man, I really wish it was in this game.
It used to be a PvP faction, but of course they've added this now, which the Reapers made me happy. Yep. Now I wish they would have some more stuff with mermaid lore, I guess. I would really, really love to have some. This is so like girly. I'm sorry, I don't care, but like some different hairstyles for the ladies characters in game. There's really not that many with like really cool, pretty hair. It's just like kind of basic. So I really wish they would add that, and just something more maybe with with underwater ships, kind of on the same mermaid topic, of something Atlantis style outside of Tall Tales, that maybe you could do quests down in like underwater cities and things like that.
Yo, that'd be dope.
Neat. That's my pick, I think.
Atlantis is like low-key like my favorite. I'm obsessed with Atlantis. So you said that, and you got my brain fire. Yeah, like I love that whole thing. That whole like underwater, lost city. That dude, yeah, acting. Wow. Or adding that to this would be sick.
I feel like it kind of I mean, there's already mermaids for our, getting back to the ship. So I think it'd be cool just to add a little bit more with them. I feel like there's so much they could do with it.
Yo, how long does it take to take a Meg down?
For real.
We're just trying to get some shark teeth.
Especially on a sloop.
Well, hey, at least we got one Meg. After this, you want to? We can head to an outpost after this. We'll get the full haul. Yeah,
let's do it. And we're grade 5, so.
And nobody's attacked us.
I know.
Not a single ship has attacked us at all.
I've been on this server all day and nobody has bothered me. Nobody's come near me at all. It's really weird.
Okay, if you had to pick one song, like to open up your stream, like if you could have one like opening, no DMs, no copyright or anything like that. If you had to pick one song to be like, this is going to be the song that I play every single time I go live, or this is like my signature song, what would it be?
I think the song It's called I Need by Wilkinson, which is so nerdy because that body pump training I did, it's like the warm-up song, so it's always first, kind of getting started. And I think it just locked in my brain for that every time I hear that song, it feels like get ready, like let's go, get pumped up.
By Wilkinson?
It's a starter song. Yeah, Wilkinson. It's called I Need.
How long has this person been making music?
I have no idea. I'd never heard of them before it.
But this is recent for you?
Yeah.
I think I've seen this person on, I'm pretty sure that's like a TikTok star. That like
Really?
this person like got really big on TikTok.
Oh,
yeah.
it's definitely possible.
I think
because it was within the past year I heard that song.
Also, I don't know if you saw, but like apparently Walmart's gonna buy TikTok.
What?
Yeah, apparently Walmart and Microsoft are joining together to buy TikTok. Apparently that's a thing.
I heard the Microsoft part, did not hear the Walmart part.
Yeah, I think that's what's going down. I don't really know much because I'm generally just kind of like in a silo.
Yeah.
News. It's like I feel like I have a hard time like seeing a bunch of like breaking news on stuff like that. But
yeah,
I thought I saw something on social media about Walmart buying TikTok.
Interesting.
Yeah, what I know you said like I don't know. TikTok's an interesting one again because like talking about how political things are right now, just all over the world. Like TikTok has managed to become its own little source of whatever.
Yes.
But has that like before it like got really, I don't even know if controversial is the right word, but like were you making content for that, or were you intending to?
I had always wanted to do some TikTok things, and I like tried to do a few things. Some of them are like the little challenge things are really a lot harder than they seem. So mad respect for the people that do them, like the dance stuff and all those things. But like I definitely went through a phase, especially at the beginning of quarantine, where I was just so obsessed with watching those videos because they're so funny or entertaining. And I would spend some hours watching some TikTok.
It like knows
I never made one though.
It like knows how to like release just the right amount of like dopamine in your brain. It's just
oh
like,
my gosh.
Here's how you get super addicted to a feed on social media. All right.
Man, I would be laughing so hard at some of those.
How many shark teeth did we just get?
From that Meg, I think it's 20.
Oh, we got 20?
Yeah.
That's
from
a
that
lot.
Shark. I'm at 80 now.
And then you get the full Shrouded Ghost set?
At 100. So right now, okay, it's at 75, you get the figurehead. So I just got the figurehead. And now I need 20 more for the sails.
All right, if you could pick one cosmetic set that's not in the game and you could just completely like create it in your mind right now, what would it be?
I think probably I have to go with donut sails.
Donut sails?
Like for my whole theme and stuff like that, I would love to have some straight up. I mean, there's only really one, like, I guess one, like the Viva Pinata set is like super bright and colorful and stands out. That's the only one. So I think like something more playful like that, like a donut set would be
For someone that's so into health and wellness and fitness and lifestyle, you got this donut theme and it's amazing. There's no way you're eating donuts every day though. There's no way.
I'll tell you the story behind it, which is so funny. Like it's just random. But like when I first started streaming and you're setting up your alerts and things like that, and people would say, oh, like, where can I donate? And I'd say, oh, if you scroll down, there's, of course, like a donut or donation link. And I just like that. I said donut on accident so many times. I don't know why, but I did. I was like, all right, I'm just going to make that my stream theme with donuts. So it does not, sadly to say, it does not come from like a big love for donuts. It just came from me messing up my words, honestly. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's just such a like fun and playful theme to have.
Yeah, because it's just, there's always this thing. It's just like, oh, okay. Like super into meal planning. Is the meal planning just like literally, is it a fridge full of one donut for each like little thing of Tupperware and marked Monday, Tuesday? I've never wondered. I mean, I've never known. So I've always wondered. I'm like, I wonder why D loves donuts.
That's why.
Yo, look at this galley right here.
Where are they? Oh.
Do you want to keg them?
Oh, okay.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to sail right at them. We got the keg right in front of us. And then you can just jump off and do your thing right when you have an opportunity to board.
I like it. I'm down.
Well, Dee, thank you again, by the way, for doing this.
Thanks for having me on here.
Of course. Thank you for being a part of this episode 2. Guys, everybody, if you tuned in late, you haven't had a chance to hear what we're doing, guys, this is Party Boats and Thieves, a brand new podcast experience presented by Madrinas Coffee, which is my coffee company. So guys, thank you so much for being here for episode 2. Dee was kind enough and awesome enough to spend a couple hours with me producing this with me. It's been awesome to hear more about you, Dee, and like your past and like what got you to this point. Content creation can be like, everybody takes different paths to it, you know what I mean? So like hearing how you came about has been really awesome, especially just because we've been friends now for so long, being able to hear a little bit more about that. But guys, thank you everybody for tuning in today. After we keg this ship, we'll turn the loot in and we'll take a little picture on the boat with all our loot. So dude, did they just hit the top of the mast with a fireball?
I guess they did. I watched it fly over.
Yeah, it definitely flew over.
Okay.
That's like some
scary.
That's like some like Melisandre stuff right there. you were into Game of Thrones, weren't you?
Yes, I love Game of Thrones.
Did you love the ending? Did you hate the ending?
No, I hated it. It made me so sad. I feel like it was a giant miss. I don't want to like. I feel like we're past the spoiler
now. I feel like we're past the spoiler protection.
Okay. So I feel like the whole like this entire series, like we've had like the different sides to everybody's stories, but the whole story of the White Walkers has always been in the background and it affects every character.
Yep.
And it was just over like that, and I felt so sad by that. I don't know.
I'm with you. I thought the White Walkers should have ended up as the winners.
Like I thought that was gonna be like the big ending, big thing, and it was just so like I felt like they're just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just do this, and it was just done so quick.
We got 2 masts down. I'm gonna ank them if you want to get ready to bring that thing over.
All right. Are we good? Do we have holes? No. Okay.
Anchor ball out.
Okay. All right. I'm off.
You got plenty of time. Their masts are down. Their anchor's down. You got plenty of time to get there.
Amazing.
Yeah, I thought that the only way that show could be brought to justice was if the White Walkers won and the Night King ended up being on the throne. That was it.
Yeah. I thought something like that was gonna happen. Or like, I was so. Did you read like everybody's different like theories about what they thought the finale was gonna be?
Oh my gosh, so much. I was always on like the Reddit forums and that kind of stuff, just checking it all out.
About how like they were thinking like Bran was maybe actually the Night King or something like that.
All right, I'm gonna load him up with some curse balls real quick.
Okay, I'm like ready to climb up with this thing.
And all right, they're not doing great up there.
Okay, I'm coming up their ladder. I'm gonna take this up. They're sweeping. Okay.
One is on the cannon right now.
Done.
Did you do it to him?
Yep.
All right, we got to take down a mag and we got to sink a galley. Because there's no way they lived through that.
Oh god, I almost died. One of them's not even like helping. He's just on the cannons. Dude, he just stood there staring at me.
All right.
I don't. They know what they're doing.
Last thing. What is something about you that you feel like no one knows or not enough people know? What is something about you that you wish everyone knew that people don't know? Is there anything? Are you an open book enough that like pretty much the whole world already knows everything there is to know about Dee?
I definitely would say like if I'm asked, I'll be like an open book about things, but I think I will go with leading way back to like when starting with Barbizon, and you get taught that like they're sunk, by the way.
Oh, okay.
If like anything goes wrong, like you don't not in a sense of like that you have to like fake it, I guess, but that you just don't let, because this is more so coming from a perspective of like being in charge and being the authority as the teacher or the director. So you don't let the students know that anything is wrong. It's just like
Yep.
So I think because of that, I carry that over into streaming. And so I really am, I'm just more so in the mindset as a streamer of like, I understand like my job is entertainment. Like you watch a news segment or something, they're professional when they're on camera the whole time, or they keep that facade or not facade. That's not the word I want to use, but like they keep
presentation.
Presentation. That's the word I want. So they keep that presentation the whole time. And I feel like I go into my streaming with the same thing. So, and I think then people, I'm sure do, and I'm okay with it, have the vision of me that like, I'm all like, everything's good. Everything's always great. My life is great. But I mean, I've definitely been through my hard times in my life, and I still go through hard times. And I've had like bad days, and I do have these bad days, and I just don't show people that side of me, and I don't really share it that much. Not because, I don't want to be relatable, but it's just because I feel like that's like, that's not why people are watching, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it without sounding like some kind of way, but I'm like, I guess my point is like in a simplified way of like, I'm human.
You think there's like an added pressure that you feel to maintain that presentation? Does that ever mess with you off stream?
Yeah, because then I think that's part of the reason too why like sometimes like when you are having a bad time, or like like for example, like we had that one day where we went against like a alliance server. We're at Thieves Haven, and there's that guy. He was just like yelling crap at me, like targeted at me. And man, that like it really sucked. And I don't know why, but usually it doesn't get to me at this point now. Like people say things, I'm like, whatever. But that one, I don't know, it really got to me that day. And I really I had a bad day when I got off stream that day. And then, so now, like, of course, as you know, whenever we're like, oh, it's Alliance server, I'm like, oh, great. Like, here we go. I think just because of that. And also, like, just different words that got used now, like the word, like, simp. He kept yelling simp on the thing. And I just cannot stand that word. Like, I'm like, don't, like, it just triggers me now. It really does. And, like, I hate sharing it because I don't want to give anybody the satisfaction that they got under my skin, I guess.
Sure,
but
yeah.
It really got under my skin. And that made me have, like, a bad day that day. But I did not show it because I think because of that, like, I don't want them to come in and watch my stream and see that they got under my skin. I don't, because that I feel like just fuels that behavior. Whereas
of course.
I've noticed that if you ignore it, you're just like, whatever, you don't let it show that it bothered you, it quickly goes away and they get bored of it because they're not getting the reaction that they want. I think that's a big part of it too, where I don't like share those things. I definitely have my bad days, and not so much now, but like in the beginning, like I felt like was a sensitive person and had to thicken my skin as a streamer, especially as a female streamer. It just is what it is, you know? And I definitely there were days where I got off and I cried and I was sad and hurt by things that people called me or people said to me. And I've grown since then. Like now it really like, I don't get bothered that much because I realize and I've learned that a lot of people say these things because they really want your attention and they think that that's the way to do it. And I've learned that. But in the beginning, it was really hard for me.
Was that, and over time, you've learned how to not have those days where you're.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, before we start turning loot in.
Yeah.
I want to take a picture.
Okay.
With,
I already turned in one thing.
Oh, did you? What? Yeah. I mean, we have everything is. We got a good looking haul here. It's got a.
Yeah.
I made a little design. I don't know. I'm not a designer. You can design this however you want.
Nope, I'm not either.
But whatever emote you want to do.
Okay.
Let's take a picture. D, again, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
This is like right at the.
This has been so fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. This is like right at the 2 hour mark. So thank you for giving the 2 hours, and I hope everyone got to learn more about D and hang with us and have a blast today. And guys, if you didn't catch the whole thing, if this is something you want to listen to again in the future, Party Boats and Thieves. This is episode number 2 of a brand new podcast series that we just started last week. D is kind enough to be our second guest that we have on. Everyone has probably, at least on your side or on my side, has heard both of our voices, because we sail together so often. But it's been great to hear more about, who you are, D, and thank you for sharing so much. So guys, if you guys want to re-listen to this or rewatch this will be uploaded on YouTube, also in a ton of different places where podcasts are downloaded. Today we got to take down that Meg. I wish it was going to be the Shrouded. I literally, it would have been like the highest key thing ever if that was a Shrouded.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yo. All right. So guys, also in a few seconds, we're going to start a giveaway D, do you have a way of doing giveaways?
I do.
You do? Okay, so on in my chat we're gonna pick a winner, and in D's chat we're gonna pick a winner. The keyword that we're going to use is just gonna be Madrinas. But in a few minutes, in a few seconds, as we're turning the loot in, and as we start segueing out, guys, we're going to do a giveaway. So if you guys have been hanging with us, or if you just now popped in and you want a chance to win some Madrinas, we're going to be picking one winner from D's chat and one from my chat. So you could always go back and forth and make sure you enter in both to double your chances to win. But guys, if you don't win, or if you just want to like skip to it and you guys want a chance to try Madrinas or load up on Madrinas because you know you love it, go to madrinascoffee.com and use discount code BBXH. That'll get you 20% off, and you'll get a fancy alert on D's stream. So in just a few moments, let's get the picture first. I'm also not the best with screenshots. Are you?
Oh, not really.
Not really? Okay. Oh, hold on. I think I can do it.
Okay.
I think I can do it. I'm gonna do Duke's drinking. There we go. Let's do this one. Bergs did this one last week, and I liked it.
Okay.
Alrighty, and like I said, I'm not the best with screenshots, but let's figure it out. Boom, I got it.
Got it? Okay.
I think I got it. I'm gonna take a couple. Alrighty.
Woohoo!
That's it. D, thank you so much. Let's get this haul turned in. And let's get this haul turned in, and everybody. All right. Wacko, and on our side, are we are we ready to go for a giveaway on our end? And D, if you're ready on your end, we can also get it rolling.
Yep, I'm ready to roll.
You are? Okay. Let's use keyword Madrinas, and let's turn the loot in, and as soon as we're done turning the loot in, we will we'll pick a winner. We'll pick winners on both sides.
All right.
Wacko, discount keyword Madrinas, guys. If you guys were here, please if you want a chance to win, please enter now. We're gonna set the timer for a few minutes.
I'm gonna be right back real quick as we sell.
Yeah.
My giveaway is started.
All right, guys, keyword Madrinas in both chats. Keyword Madrinas in both chats, guys. We're gonna pick two winners, one in my chat, one in D's chat. Everybody, again, thank you for being a part of episode 2. Thank you for hanging. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Y'all are amazing, and I say this every single day, but I feel entirely blessed to be able to hang with all you friends, and I know D feels the same way. And thank you guys for making the morning party boats so special. We're gonna have more guests on in the future, more Sea of Thieves partners. The next couple months are just loaded up with friends that want to come or are kind enough to come and hang out with us and drink coffee and chat and spend some time on the morning party boats. So again, keyword Madrinas. We will draw it in about probably like 4 or 5 minutes, however long it takes to sell everything. I'm gonna grab one more picture here. All right, I think I got it now. All right, time to get to selling. D isn't using the same format as you. Oh, is she not? Okay. Is she not, Mo? Okay. Well, here at the very least, it's keyword Madrinas. Here at the very least, it's keyword Madrinas. And guys, how about this? If you guys have any questions for D, if you guys have any very, very specific questions that you think are on topic, if I see any that are relevant, that seem like they would be great to ask D before we wrap, you can take right now as an opportunity to message them in the chat, and if I read them, and like I said, if they sound dope enough, like we can get some awesome more color into D's life and her world and content creation, now's the time. Typing it multiple times does not give you multiple entries. Like Kelly said, entering multiple times will not be multiple. You can do it. Why not? Josh, I am, but not just yet. It's gonna give me a few hours, Josh. Give me a few hours and then I will 100%. Give me a few hours and then I will 100%.
Okay, back.
Welcome.
Thank you. Ooh.
All right, here's a question from Solku. D, what's the next game that you're looking forward to?
Oh, I think maybe is that a New World game? I haven't played it yet, but I like MMOs, so. And you guys have been saying that it's fun so far. So I think that one.
New
probably.
World?
There's also, I cannot even remember. It's called, oh, someone will know, Death something. But it's this new game coming out where basically a horror game, but think of like Jurassic Park when they're like hiding from the dinosaurs. You're being hunted by dinosaurs.
And what's it called?
What's the name of it? I will look it up on Steam. It's Death something.
That's like
Death, I think Death Ground.
That's
maybe.
like the most anxious, that's like the most anxiety-inducing part of Jurassic Park.
It really is. Death Ground. It's called Death Ground, one word. I don't know when it's coming out. Oh, UV Groovy just used the BBXH code. For
Yo, UV, thank you for using discount code BBXH. You got 20% off, and you got your awesome alert to pop up on D-Stream. Guys, if you are interested in joining any of the hype around Madrinas Coffee, or if you know you love it and you want a chance to load up and support D, discount code BBXH will get you 20% off. Guys, so madrinascoffee.com, just at checkout, make sure you put your name in the Twitch field, as well as you put D's name in the discount field, BBXH, and you'll get 20% off. Thank you guys thank you UV, thank you Hawk, thank you Mo, anyone else that does use D's code. Guys, thank you guys so much for not only loading up on coffee, but being here and supporting this brand new podcast experience, Party Boats and Thieves. This is a new experience designed to get to know more friends, more awesome members of the Sea of Thieves community. D, I heard you talking about this earlier. The Sea of Thieves community just feels really tight, feels really awesome. You pop into someone's stream, or you pop in, somewhere, and you see a lot of familiar names. So the whole design behind Party Boats and Thieves is to build bridges where there may not currently be some, connecting this awesome community even more. So guys, thank you for being a part of the second episode now. And we're almost done selling.
So, any sneak peeks of who's going to be on next? Is this secret?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping. I think he said he was available. I think Mason.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I was
gonna say, it's a he.
Yeah, no. I asked him a couple weeks ago. I need to make sure that he's available. I know he said he was down. I need to specifically make sure again that he's down for next weekend, because I had a couple weekends shift on me, so I need to make sure he's good. That's not an official Mason's joining us next week. That's just I'm friends enough with Mason and feel comfortable enough to say that he's at least expressed interest in doing this. So at some point we'll see Mason here. It's that's the hope and the goal. No, we do not have the third guest 100% confirmed though. So that will be announced on Twitter. And guys, if you are wanting to follow along on this or anything else that Madrinas is doing, you can follow the Madrinas socials. We'll be talking about this podcast. We'll be talking about all of our other new products, things that we have coming out, monthly, or whatever our new hype promos are. So you guys can follow Madrinas on all of our socials. Twitter and Instagram are our two big ones. I love Twitter. I think Twitter, I'm addicted to Twitter, versus Instagram, but I know that so many people are super addicted to Instagram. So a lot of options out there.
Yeah, Instagram I feel like is my, outside of Twitch, my number one, and then Twitter. I don't like Facebook. Do you use Facebook?
Not anymore.
Your streaming?
Not anymore. We use it for Madrinas, but me personally, I tend to stay on, like I said, I'm Twitter. I'm super addicted to it. Anything else on the boat? Oh no, we have a bunch of I'm selling collector's chests. We have a bunch of skulls. All right, you're at 80, right? You're at 80 shark teeth?
I think so.
Are you gonna grind for that last 20 before you call it?
I think I might, yeah.
I know Josh is wanting to play. I know Josh is wanting to play New World this weekend.
Oh yeah, he's playing it right now.
Are you gonna play with him at or all of us at any point?
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't know. You guys are making it seem like it's so fun.
Well, you know how MMOs are. Once you get in, and if it's immersive world, man. There's no limit. You just keep leveling, and they have so many different things to level in. So it's the leveling process is so addicting, and the world's cool.
God,
the world's really cool.
That's what made me love Diablo and EverQuest. Is that you're always working towards something, leveling up. Oh man.
All right.
Those games pull me in.
Do you want to pull the winner for both giveaways?
Okay.
How is yours working? It's not a keyword. Most said it wasn't a keyword.
Yeah, mine is they use their loyalty points
Oh,
for stream elements.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they just do like exclamation point ticket space max if they want to do the max amount they can, which is 1,000.
Yeah.
And then it's all through stream elements. I just close it and it'll randomly pick a winner.
All right. Do you want to pick winners?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, close mine.
Alrighty, Wacko, you ready?
Should I pick a winner?
Let me make sure we're ready on our side.
Okay.
I think we are. Everybody, if we haven't drawn yet, just make sure you enter. Keyword is Madrinas. All right, I think you can pick yours.
All right. All right, the winner from my channel is Tom Butto Man.
Yo, Tom, thank you for entering and thank you for being here. If you want to pop over into my chat for a second, you can connect with the mods here and we will collect your preferred ship to information, where you want your giveaway, where you want your free Madrina ship to. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for entering on D's side, or I guess Mo as well. I mean, I don't know if Mo's down to collect it. I just, mod on your side if that's how you'd want to do it, D.
I'm sure Mo can do that. Tom is in here. Tom is ready. Whatever easier for you, Tom.
Yo, did Aaron Lane just win? All right. And on our side, Aaron Lane, thank you so much for being here and entering and winning. So Tom and Aaron, guys, thank you for entering. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending so much time with me and D and the Party Boats and Thieves experience. Guys, thank you so much. Y'all got free Madrinas coming your way. Free Madrinas trials coming your way, guys. You're going to get our mocha and our vanilla powder. Our powder. You guys are going to get some free powder so you can give it a try. And guys, if you want to join the Madrinas hype, madrinascoffee.com, you can use discount code BBXH now to get 20% off. And D, we're just going to keep you way caffeinated forever. I hope you're good with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just going to keep you way caffeinated forever. All right. So Aaron Lane and Tom, thank you guys. And we have a couple more items left. 2 more gems is left on all that's left on the boat. This is your level 5, by the way.
Yeah.
I forgot that we're level 5 Order of Souls.
I know. I mainly was just doing it so I could get skelly voyages for those skeletons.
Yeah.
Hit 2 of them with a grog ball. I don't know how it hadn't counted, but I don't know.
And gems are the gem price gets juiced if we sell it at Order of Souls, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm glad we found some Megs. I found 3 Megs today. All of them were the purple one.
All Crested Queens?
Yeah. Oh, that guy came in. What was his name? He came in chat earlier. That was on our boat last night.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he came in chat.
Venor or something like that? Venord?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
They,
guys, as we were trying to get this set up last night,
oh my God.
Technically to get like the game feed and like the cam feed, all of it feeding into one OBS. We loaded into a Sea of Thieves server and there were 2 Reaper ships on one of them was a Reaper 5. So as we were like tinkering with stuff, we set the boat out and we ended up sinking them and another galleon. It's funny. It was just all like we were barely even like in the game. We were just like messing around with like all of like the technical side, and they happened to just show up and we would sunk both of them.
Man, Benord is in the chat right now.
Yo, Benord.
Yeah.
But man, so he was on the slip. Did you hear me telling the story of like after he logged off?
Yeah, you ran into some trouble. Like you ran into some PvE trouble, it sounded like.
Oh my God, I was just trying to sell that merchant flag, and he was on the ship with me for a bit, but I couldn't communicate to him, so he eventually just like jumped off, probably go back with this crew. And then but before he jumped off, a Meg spawned on us, but of course we had no cannonballs. So I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so unlucky. And then it despawned, so we just kept sailing. Sad times.
I just voted to lower, by the way, on the Order of Souls.
Forgot about that. I would have totally just left that. Bobby.
Oh, no worries. I normally don't do any emissary work, so this is like this is a big first for me.
5,000. Woo!
Yep. All right, D. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the code.
Yep.
And this was so fun. I mean,
I'm glad you had a good time. It's just, but it's also, you know, it's all about just, you know, hearing stories and stuff. So with the fact that we got to hear so much more about your background and how you got here, I know a lot of people that are in the chats right now are the people that will follow on and listen to this or watch this later on YouTube or any other platform that it gets uploaded to. I know so many people probably, you know, watch you every day, but may not have the full context for you as a creator and where you come from. So to have that background is really cool. Have all that color. So thank you for sharing so much.
Absolutely. Happy to.
And again, guys, this was episode 2 of Party Boats and Thieves, a brand new podcast experience designed to build bridges in the Sea of Thieves community and in our awesome, just, you know, coffee community that we have at large with Madrinas. So Party Boats and Thieves presented by Madrinas Coffee. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting it, however you are watching, listening, however. Like Dee said, we will be back next week with episode 3 with another friend that we'll sail with. And that will be live next Friday, 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. U.S. Central Time. In between now and then, guys, look for this to be uploaded on YouTube so that way you can watch it or listen to it later if you didn't catch the whole thing. But yeah, between now and then, I will catch so many of you guys I've you know, on morning party boats that we're on either tomorrow or Monday or whatever. Like I said, it's been awesome to be able to sail with you every morning. So to get to know you and so many other friends. So, well, I'll be back and I'm sure you will be back Monday morning for morning party boats. So, but yeah, between now and then, guys, have a great weekend. Dee, enjoy your Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy your Friday. And I will talk to you very soon.
All right. Bye,
One love. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.